Hello, it's Thursday, it's not Friday, but it is the Will and Dave show, and Dave, I've just realised we haven't actually posted the link to this to anyone, yet we're still going to do the podcast because people might just come and find it on Friday 4 PM GMT like sheep.
That's right, and they'll think it's live and they'll try to interact with us and then they'll get mad at us when we don't respond.
So it is the Will and Dave show, it's on Thursday, it is 4 PM GMT, so at least you got the time, right? It is episode XVIII, because there's no way in hell I'm going to reference number 18 in relation to this podcast.
Nope, I'm not even going to say what it is. If you guys listen to us enough, you'll know why we don't like that particular number.
It's actually kind of ironic that, you know, this guy is driving around in a Peanuts car, yet has absolutely nothing that may or may not resemble testicles in his body at all.
Oh, we've gone, what, a 1 minute in and we've already gone to testicle jokes?
Well, it's actually kind of ironic, because in that family, you know, he's the big fairy boy, and then you got Kurt Busch, who's blatantly just got, you know, a shit ton of testosterone and wants to beat the shit out of anyone and everything.
Well, I guess since Kurt was the first one, he took it all and left nothing for younger brother.
So, Dave.
Speaking of Kurt Busch, I mean, we might as well just jump right into Indy, right?
Yeah, we'll start with Indy, because he wants to run the Indy 500 this year. I don't think he's got a deal yet, but he wants to run the Indy 500 this year. However, we've got Montoya, and we know how well Kurt Busch and Ron Pablo Montoya get on. I mean, it's famous. But now we have a Canadian in Jacques Villeneuve.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of surprised a lot of people, but he's going to be with he's not going to be with like a backmarker team or anything, so it'll be really interesting to see. The cars are radically different from when he was last at Indy, back in 95?
Yeah, 95. I mean, he won the last 500 before the split.
So, yeah, and that was, controversial finish. Scott Goodyear still thinks he won that race, and he probably should have. But it'll be really interesting to see how quickly Villeneuve adapts to the DW12 and not racing, open wheel cars for, God, I don't even know how long it's been. He's been in NASCAR, he's been in sports cars, he's done a little bit of everything, and really with not a lot of success, but unless you count, pissing drivers off successful, you can't go to Indy and start ramming people like he was doing in the, nationwide and Cup road course races. So, Pierre Bourdon is a French Canadian. He was kind of giving me a little bit of crap because I was saying, Villeneuve can't come to Indy and hit things. I really hope for Villeneuve's sake that he got that out of him, because I would like to see the guy do well. He's a Formula One world champion, kart champion, Indy 500 champion. Everywhere he's gone, he's, had success except for the last couple of years. So I really hope he does well. I hope they give him a driver's suit that fits, though.
You know what? What, just fit him or fit his ego?
Well, maybe that's why they make it so big, is to, fit the ego in it. It always looks like he's wearing like Shaquille O'Neal's driver's suit if he had one.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, actually, it's all Michael Schumacher's fault that he's been hitting things, because of course Villeneuve's arguably most famous moment in Formula One came at the dry sack corner at Jerez back in 1997, when Michael Schumacher tried turning right into him and kind of missed a little bit. And I think ever since that day, Villeneuve never got the chance to go and see Schumacher and punch him in the face. And I think that pent-up frustration has just kind of, manifested in his career since then.
I mean, really, though, I'd be laughing, because it's like, dude, you tried to take me out for the championship. You missed. I went to win the championship, and they completely disqualified you from the points for the whole season. When you look at the point standings for 97, Schumacher's not on it.
Yep. The team's still on it. Ferrari's got all their points. Michael Schumacher, last.
So any novice that looks back in 20 years will be like, what happened to Michael Schumacher in 1997?
Well, what he did is he drove a really bad car. It was the first car that Roy Byrne made for Ferrari. He had a moderately good season. Then he had a couple of suspension. No, Villeneuve was the one who had the suspension at Suzuka. And what happened is that Michael Schumacher was so shit scared that Villeneuve was going to take him out if he tried to overtake him, ironic that he sent Eddie Irvine to go and overtake him, drive off into the sunset, so that when Villeneuve made his pit stop, he had a buffer so he could push, and then basically he then got ahead of Eddie Irvine and got Irvine to hold Villeneuve up. That bit we can kind of understand.
Yeah, there's one thing to get team tactics involved, but to just deliberately turn right into a guy and try to wreck him like he did with Damon Hill in '94. And, I mean, I can't blame these guys. I mean, Senna and Prost took each other out for championships, so they're just like, hey, they've done it. Why can't we do it?
And, yeah, of course, you could almost think about the famous collisions in Formula One, and you had 1989, the one at the Casino Triangle down at Suzuka. Then you had the really blatant one in 1990 when Senna said, oh, by the way, if Prost gets ahead of me into turn one, he's not going to make the corner. And when Prost got ahead of him into turn one, Senna was like, oh, crap. Oh, crap. My brakes just decided that they were going to fail.
No. If you listen to the Senna movie, and you watch it, Prost did move over slightly, and Senna gave himself the excuses while he opened up the line for me, so I'm going for it, even though he drove half his car over that curb to get there.
Yeah. If you no longer go for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver.
And every iRacer in Brazil believes that, even when they're 6 laps down.
Well, there's a couple of iRacers not from Brazil as well, let's be honest, too. You also seem to believe that one. I'll tell you what.
For every guy in an iRacing street stock race that goes, for Dale, you got some guy in Brazil going, for Senna!
That's amazing. And then every German driver, for Schumacher!
For Andreas!
And then every British driver just sat there with his cup of tea in hand. That Jaguar advert that they had at the Super Bowl really does, sum up what British people are like.
So that's an accurate description?
Yeah, I mean, we can accurately drink a cup of tea whilst in a helicopter over central London.
Has this ever happened to you?
Yeah, it happens to me all the time when I get my helicopter down central London. I'm just sat there, cup of tea, bone trying to plate. It's the way we do stuff.
Well, get me over there. I want to ride on a helicopter over London.
Awesome. So, Villeneuve at Indy. I mean, Villeneuve and Montoya don't get on. Villeneuve and Kurt Busch don't get on. Villeneuve and pretty much half the people over at Indianapolis don't get on.
And is Villeneuve even going to get along with his own teammates?
I don't know. Well, they haven't yet announced a Brian Hyder Motorsport. I mean, is it going to be the case that Villeneuve's going to be like, nope, not him. Nope,
well,
not him.
If it's a Schmidt-Peterson car, so he's going to be teammates with Pagenaud.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, God, he's at Schmidt, isn't he? I thought he was at Brian Herter. I just got that completely wrong, haven't I? I failed miserably.
Well, you were thinking when Schmidt-Peterson and Herta kind of teamed up with the Weldon car in 2011.
Yes. And let's not forget as well, I mean, you talk about the quality of that team. Tagliani got a pole position at Indy, remember?
Yep. Here's a question, though, for the Indy 500, Will. Are they going to have 33 cars?
Yes. I think they are.
Because there are some detractors that are saying, oh, they're struggling for 33, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, they barely had 34 last year when the Catherine Legg deal kind of came in at the last minute or whatever. But are we going to see legitimate bumping this year? Are we going to have like 35, 36 cars, you think?
We're not going to have legitimate bumping. I think we're going to have 35 cars. And let's not forget, we are on the road to 2016. The economy's getting better. Sponsorship's getting better. There's more money. And let's not forget as well, what one of the issues was with us having the DW12, that there really only was in 2012 about 34 chassis to go around.
Yes, this is true. I would love to see with the Indy 500, hopefully maybe by 2016, would be kind of like a throwback to how the Indy 500 used to have its own rules. So, like Alan Aggie and I were talking last night, maybe everybody has to run the same car, DW12 chassis or whatever they call it then. But open up the engine rules. Be like, all right, you can do this, this, and this. Make guys and teams build special engines for Indy with, I'd love to see, a team like maybe Cosworth comes in and say, hey, we've worked the rules this way and we've come up with a V6 turbocharger or a V8
Just for Indy.
Yeah, just for Indy. Have special rules for Indy. Where's some of that innovation? I mean, Indy is great now, but Indy's not Indy without innovation.
Agreed.
And it needs that. And I would love to see the 100th running of the Indy 500 go back to having some of that innovation where, the Chevy teams develop a special engine for Indy. Have a legitimate manufacturer battle. That's what I'm looking for. And they got a couple years to figure it out. So maybe if one of the top guys for IndyCar listens to the Will and Dave show, they can float those ideas to them. And then we could take credit, Will, for a great 100th running of the Indy 500. And possibly, since we're so smart, they'll let us go in for free.
Yes, of course. And we will be there for the 2016 Indy 500. Trust me, it's already working itself out. But you're right. And I think you are completely right that, in the USAC era, in the car era, even in the IRL era, it was a completely different rule. Yeah, completely different rule book, completely different game when it came to the Indy 500. And this all comes back down to what the issue was with Tony George in many ways. Tony George always said that Indy 500 was bigger than IndyCar. He was completely right. And I never say Tony George is right often, but he was completely right in here, because the Indy 500 is like the Daytona 500 multiplied by 10. The amount of prestige it has, what it is, the excitement, the speed, the innovation, it is ginormous. And they have considered actually trying to do the a spin on the Le Mans thing. They're going to try and perhaps get a Garage 34 project going.
Screw that Garage 34 thing. Let all these guys develop their own stuff. If somebody wants to run a IndyCar Formula car and engine, they're fine.
Can we get an F1 engine in there? Because they are technically V6 turbos.
Just do it. Set the rules up.
Yeah, they are V6 turbos. So what's the real difference?
Exactly. If they want to run Concurs on them or whatever the hell they call it, now let them.
Well, I mean, let's be honest as well.
Let's open this thing up. Would you love to see Ferrari with one of their Formula One engines make their own, two-car team, and we'll see what happens.
Let's not forget, I mean, we talked to someone very well informed on Ferrari, and they have kind of mooted that idea around that they'll go to LMP. And I was thinking, Formula One, in a straight fight, a Formula One engine would actually lose out to an IndyCar engine because, the way that they have to stress test the engines for Formula One, it's all about rapid gear changes and the stress on the engine being at high revs at a number, at lower speeds. An IndyCar engine goes, 20 miles an hour faster than you ever see an F1 engine go. So it's not going to be as easy as people think to just lift an F1 engine block out, put it down in an IndyCar. At the same time, though, if Ferrari think they can do it with an LMP thing, I think they should come over, run the Indy 500 in 2016, run it in 2015, give yourself that year of preparation. The same for Mercedes. I mean, Mercedes, you think about the 1994 Indy 500, you don't think about Penske, you think about that Ilmor engine.
Yeah, and how they built it in secrecy, and they used the rules that were laid out for years that no one else took advantage of. I mean, we know that Menard and Buick tried to have their, V6 push rod stock block engine, but they could never. I mean, they were faster because they always got the pole, but the engine would never last. But Ilmor, Mercedes, and Penske made this beast of an engine, and they got it to go 500 miles. I mean, hell, if Fittipaldi didn't hit the wall, he'd have won that race by a lap.
Yeah. I mean, that was fun. I mean, and it's the same way that you sometimes see Audis winning Le Mans by a lap. It doesn't matter because you just sat there, lap after that, thinking, how, God, can they be that goddamn fast?
Exactly. And you know what, too, with the DW12, let whatever team you are on, build whatever front nose you want, whatever side pods you want, whatever rear wing you want. Let's open this up as much as we can. I would love to see 400, 500,000 people at the Speedway again, like it used to be. Well, make Indy special. Indy is already special, but it is even more special because it was
make
that
the
one-off
race special,
race.
Not just a racetrack.
Exactly. Don't make the event special, make the race special.
Yes. And, I mean, of course, they are bringing in the aero kits next year, finally, at least for the Triple Crown events. What the issue is that you have to make an aero kit, and then you have to sell it to other people who want that aero kit for a fixed price. And it's like, what's the fucking point? Because you can realistically get Ganassi make an aero kit, and then Penske in the dying moments of pole day think, fuck it, we're going to use Ganassi's aero kit, and they have to give it to them. Which, I mean, you never get that in F1.
No, absolutely not. If you're not good enough to build a better aero kit, you should be. Well, the opposite of that argument should be if you build a better aero kit, you should be rewarded by being able to have that advantage.
So, and also you've got the engines.
You know, it's not like it's your local go-kart track where the rules discourage you from boring out your engine and stuff because you could buy any engine from any driver for $500. So if you put $5,000 in your little go-kart motor and some guy goes, "Hey, you're like a second a lap faster than me, I'm buying that for $500," you have to sell it to him.
Yep.
I mean, that's essentially what the rules are for the aero kit, and that's just stupid, and I hope they reconsider that.
And about the engines as well, you look at NASCAR, they've got it right there. You've got your Toyotas, you've got your Chevys, you've got your Fords. But then, if you're a NASCAR fan, you look down into that. You've got two big different Chevy engines going on down there. You've got, you've got your standard Ford, then you've got your Roush Fenway Fords. And you've really just got your Joe Gibbs Toyotas and those who have no other engine to buy, who will just buy a shit Toyota. But you've got the different tuning things. I mean, it's not always an advantage. Look at Hendrick in qualifying, for example. The Hendrick Chevys, they fucked up. It's that risk that you have to take on that sort of thing.
Exactly. I would, you know what, and if you open up the engine rules and things like that too, my God, you might actually have some, unreliability. I mean, when was the last time anybody really, spectacularly blew up? Because these engines are so yeah, I mean, these guys are so bulletproof anymore. I mean, the only reason people fall out of the Indy 500 is because they crash. It's not because they blew up or had a mechanical failure.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to push the engine that hard because the rules don't allow them to push the engine to its limit to get the most power out of it. It says, hey, you got to have this much. So they just build it bulletproof, because it's got to last, I don't know, what is it, 2,000 miles now or whatever the rules are.
Yeah.
So you have to build a bulletproof engine or you're going to lose spots. Let the Indy 500 stand on its own. No engine rules.
And you can throw an engine away after qualifying. Do it like NASCAR. You can throw an engine away after qualifying. They don't technically do that, but we'll just pretend that that's where they do it. Throw your engine away after qualifying. Throw your tyres away after qualifying, and you have a new car then for the race. You've got a week of practice between qualifying and the race. And I think that as far as that goes as well, I mean, IndyCar's gone some way on this when last year on Fast Friday in qualifying, they increased the boost for qualifying to basically make the cars not that piss low. Increase the boost for the entire race. Get it to the point that you're having to push the Chevy engines, push the Honda engine, because it's not just raw speed then. You get all the other things that makes Indy. Fuel mileage. Last year, Hondas were so much better on fuel mileage than Chevys, and it showed at tracks like Pocono. It was phenomenal how good they were. And, all these people watching IndyCar thinking, oh, look at that, we're on different strategies, it's a strategy race, it's boring. Bullshit! The last 20 laps of any Indy 500 that is green throughout the last 20 laps is phenomenal to watch. Period.
Yep, because you have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. Ever. And I'll give that credit to someone drove a motor car at Motegi. 1 year in 2008, they were able to get it working for them when someone was too busy trying to pay their taxes rather than actually, looking at their fuel gauge. You make a good point there about engines. I think that's a logical point. We'll talk more about Villeneuve in a little bit, but we've got a logical point to move on there to Bahrain, where Renaults are kind of doing about 10 miles rather than 2,000 miles right now.
I mean, Will, are we at the point where we can say that any Renault engine finish the Australian Grand Prix?
Not necessarily, because let's not forget, most of these issues are isolated more to Red Bull. And I think we're at a situation right now where I think Red Bull are in a crisis. And, when they had their issues at Barcelona and Jerez, you're like, okay, they'll come back for Bahrain. Today, first day of testing, they have issues again. Red Bull are now in crisis mode. Can you talk to Trainer for 1 minute, by the way, as well, about this?
Sure.
But you can talk first about your comment, then Trainer can respond to your comment. That's the way it's going to work. I'm going to make some coffee.
Well, basically, you're saying that Red Bull has had a lot of the issues, but it seems like the common issue between the Renault teams of Red Bull, Toro Rosso, and Lotus are that the Renault engine seems to need a lot more cooling, and they weren't really expecting that. So, I mean, they almost have to like rebuild portions of their cars to make this work. Brandon, what are you seeing about all this, or do you even care about Formula One?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, to be honest.
Do you not watch Formula One at all, or do you not been following?
Very rarely.
Oh, well, basically they had to redo their cars and engines for this year because of rules changes where they had to go from a V8 normally aspirated to a V6 turbo, and they changed the rules to where they have to use 50 kilos less fuel per race. And so the Renaults are having a hard time not catching on fire because their cars are getting too hot while testing, and they're catching on fire, and like Sebastian Vettel's running out of the car, grabbing a fire extinguisher and putting his own car out. So they're having a lot of problems while teams like Mercedes and Ferrari are able to complete full race distances in testing. And the Australian Grand Prix is almost 2 weeks away, and Renault's still having a hard time even getting a full fuel stint done.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go on.
Oh, I was going to say, like, why wouldn't they just go to F1 and say, hey, look, we're having these problems. You think that you could make a rule change or whatever to maybe accommodate for our problems that may help everybody else out in the end?
Well, let's not forget that any rule change this late in the game after the FIA ratified rules for the season has to get a unanimous vote for the Motorsports Council. I really don't think that Ferrari is going to agree to that.
Yeah, and especially Mercedes is going to reject that because they look like the strongest team right now. They've been quick in the testing. They've been able to complete full race distances.
It's like Braun all over again, isn't it?
I mean, hell, even Force India with the Mercedes engine has been, pretty quick. Sergio Perez was the fastest of today's testing, and they were able to complete, just lap after lap after lap, while the Renaults, they're strapping fire extinguishers onto the side of the car before they go out.
Well, yeah, I mean, it really is like Braun all over again for me as far as Mercedes goes. They just got a knack of getting it right the first time. They don't get it right as in, they're going to be the fastest team. But what worked well for Braun last time is that they're able to interpret a rule package better than anyone else, and that gave them the early advantage. Now, if the season started, at Silverstone, they wouldn't have won that championship. I think they would have come third in the championship. But I think, again, you haven't got Ross Brawn there, but you still got all the guys that you had back in the Brawn era, well, technically the Honda era, or the BAR era, if you want to go that far back. Can you imagine that, Dave? BAR won a championship, essentially.
And Villeneuve used to be on the team, and they threw him off the team because he wasn't doing anything.
Well, they threw him off the team. They threw Craig Pillock, who they brought in to manage the team as well. Then they got rid of Dave Richards as well. It's like, okay, let's just go and get some people that can actually do their jobs. Got Ross Brawn along and, yeah, won a championship. But you're right. I mean, Force India Mexico, as I'm going to start calling it, they've looked pretty good this year. And at the same time as well, Williams. I think this could be the year that Williams finally get out of being a shit team, being back to at least being a mid-pack team.
Yeah, this was exactly what Williams needed because they were not getting anywhere with the old rules package. They got lucky, I'll say, at the beginning of the 2012 season when Maldonado put it on pole, and it was kind of like basically whoever starts on the pole wins, and, good for him. He won the race.
And then, of course, the car set on fire afterwards, so they lost that entire car, and they started to suck from there on in.
What did Williams do after that victory? They did nothing. I mean, going into the last couple of races of last season, they only had 3 more points than Caterham and the Marussia team. I mean, the mighty Williams, when you go back to the 80s and 90s, it couldn't be stopped, dominated everything, only had 3 points through a whole season. If you would have made that bet 30 years ago that they'd only score 3 points in 2012, back when they were a powerhouse, you could have won a lot of money.
Yep, completely agree. And I think this year is going to be the year. I mean, let's be honest. If I was Caterham, actually, let's not talk about Caterham. In fact, let's talk about Caterham. I was going to
Why
say,
not?
if Caterham or Mauritia had any sense, they would find a way of putting everything they ever had into Melbourne, because that would be their best chance of getting a point. However, if you're Caterham, you might be better off getting a GP2 car if you're Kobayashi.
Yeah, Kamui Kobayashi took a little bit of heat for saying that the team's GP2 car is faster than their Formula One car at the current moment. And if you're Caterham and your driver that you brought in is saying that about your team, you got a long way to go. But what are you going to do? You're not even paying the guy to race, so...
Yep. He can say what he fucking wants.
The guy can basically say whatever he wants because he's got to make his own way. So, you know what? If I was him, I'd be pissed too because this is probably one of his last shots at, staying in Formula One. And if he's driving around in a car that's slower than a GP2 car, I mean, how's he going to
go to IndyCar?
Exactly.
That money, I mean, the money that he brings with him is probably better off spent in IndyCar. Let's be honest. I mean, Takuma Sato's had a couple of good seasons, and let's figure out all of the front wings that he's had to spend more money on when he was at all of his teams. Kobayashi, could make a pretty decent name for himself over in IndyCar, and also I think it will add a little bit more value to the Japanese product over there, which has always really suffered ever since Twinman Motegi left the schedule. So there's a thought for you, Kobayashi. Stop driving around in a car worse than a GP2 machine. Fly over to America. It's okay. The sushi over there ain't that bad.
Well, this is like the second real, good point that we've made today.
I know.
I'm kind of scared because typically we've already gone off the tracks at this point, and we're just like babbling on about Andreas Stratman wrecking people or calling people crash drivers, or Andrew King playing music clips, and we have to throw them out before we get in trouble with YouTube.
Yeah. Daniel Ricciardo, I think, really sums up the Red Bull issues right now when he says that Red Bull is not up to scratch. I mean, he managed 39 laps, which, let's be honest, was only 4 fewer than the entire team managed last week. But still, 39 laps in an entire day of testing when you've got an entire rules package to test is not good enough. And Ricciardo, let's be honest, he's as controversial as Mark Webber when it comes to that sort of stuff, Brandon. And I think he's really just kind of slipped straight into his shoes. And if you're a Red Bull fan right now, and you've been one of these glory hunting Red Bull fans, all of a sudden you've got to swallow that bitter pill of defeat. That's you I'm talking to, Trainer. Okay, Trainer's not here, and Dave will be right back. So I will just elaborate on that point by myself. Of course, the big issue is going to be with Ferrari, which I think would be rather useful to see how that relationship is going to work between Kimi Räikkönen and Fernando Alonso. Those of you who haven't paid much attention to Formula One over the years will won't remember that Fernando Alonso, last time he had a really fast teammate, was with Lewis Hamilton. And Hamilton kind of really outshone Alonso in that year, and it just led to the bitterest feud we've seen in F1 since Prost and Senna.
Yeah, it was ironic that it was with the McLaren team, and unlike the Senna-Prost era, the two of them battling each other cost them each the championship, and Kimi Räikkönen was able to squeak in there by 1 point and win the championship because the two of them were so busy battling each other, they lost sight of the championship.
Dave, we've got a breaking news thing. We're talking about getting more engine people into IndyCar.
Well, Autosport.com reports that Cosworth considering return to IndyCar's third engine manufacturer, and that couldn't be better news for IndyCar to get a third manufacturer involved.
Because, I mean, the last third manufacturer they had was, it was like driving an Indy Lights car.
Yeah, well, they were so bad you can't even consider them an engine manufacturer. and it really showed, unfortunately for Simona Di Silvestro, really showed her talent because she regularly qualified that horrible Lotus engine in front of some very capable drivers that were running Chevys and Hondas. One of the main ones that I can think of right now is Marco Andretti. I mean, she outqualified him all the time, and he had at least, 50 horsepower more on her?
Yeah. Let's be honest,
So,
I don't think that Marco Andretti can drive a road course better than someone if he had 200 horsepower more, but controversial comment of the minute. And this is kind of funny because we were just talking about more engine manufacturers, and Cosworth would be the ideal fix because they've got a rich history. The DFV, Cosworth didn't just make its name in Formula 1, it was for many years kind of a staple in IndyCar as well. And to get that engine back for 2016 will be a huge icing on the cake for IndyCar because Cosworth Indy means a fucking ton.
yeah, it would be great to have Cosworth back in there because they're more than capable of providing race-winning engines. If you look back at their history, for a long time, the Ford Cosworth engines powered the Newman Haas team, and guys like Michael Andretti, Nigel Mansell, Mario Andretti to wins in championships. So it would be great to see a group like that with enough time, put into it, be able to develop a competitive engine. And I'm sure with a new engine manufacturer, you could probably get a couple more teams involved because the way things are now, it's like, well, Chevy and Honda can only make so many engines a year. So it kind of puts a strain on them if there's, say, 45 teams going to Indy. If Cosworth comes in, I'm sure they could supply at least 5 teams right off the bat.
Oh, God, yeah, and they've got the technology, because let's not forget, they have worked in a number of different Formulae. They've got F1 experience, and I know about the stress testing part better than most other companies would. I think they would be the perfect fix. They would be phenomenal to have an IndyCar, and Cosworth, if you come back, I will happily support you. So do it now. Pay attention to us.
That's right. Pay attention to the Will and Dave Show podcast live on GlacierTV.
And I was talking just before you went about Daniel Ricciardo when he said that Red Bull wasn't up to scratch. He really is, controversial in many ways. Like Webber, he kind of fits immediately into that role. You've got squeaky clean Vettel, then you've got the kind of rugged, will say what he actually wants to in Ricciardo. Saying Red Bull's not up to scratch before he does his first Grand Prix, something's wrong with that car.
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with it if, with all things going on and they're not where they need to be.
Meanwhile, by the way, this is something that's come out today. The British government has launched a consultation into street racing, essentially, in the UK. Now, there's a couple of reasons why this has happened. Of course, it could then create the London Grand Prix, which will be phenomenal, and would arguably be the most attended Formula 1 Grand Prix in history. But also what it means is that you can get Formula E running in the UK. Also, and I'm thinking, again, IndyCar about this, back in Birmingham in the late 1980s and early 1990s, August Bank Holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend for you Americans, we had something called the Birmingham Super Prix, which was with Formula 2 cars, which back then, Formula 2 was a huge sport. It was watched, almost as much as F1, on network TV, all of that stuff. And there was a possibility to then have a road race in Birmingham, which is the second city of the UK. So I think this is really good by the UK and the government. They're doing something useful for once. You agree? You're even tapping your glass to it. But
well, my question is, what has taken the British government absolutely so long to even... Why is this even an issue? I mean, how many cities in the United States just have road races if they want them? Why is it so heavily restricted in the UK?
There's a lot of issues in some ways in that, I'll give you a bit of a lesson because this comes into my world. A lot of cities have ring roads that go around the inner city, so therefore if you have a Grand Prix or a motor race, you're actually going to close off a number of key routes in and out the city, but then also you have to close one of the big orbital routes around the city as well, in some cases, which then means that how do people get to the Grand Prix, how do they get out of the Grand Prix, how do then people use essential amenities, for example, going to the high street, for example, because we have high streets, unlike malls. So you've got those issues that really could present itself, and I'll be really interested to see what the local authorities write about this when they respond to the consultation. But it's not just that. I mean, for example, the Rally GP, it then gives the opportunity to have more stages, things like on asphalt, for example. And back in the day, Rally GP used to be amazing. You used to got these little tiny country roads, and country roads in Britain are made for racing. And without condoning bad driving, if you got yourself a motorbike on a Sunday afternoon and a clear road, you can have so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great to see. What am I trying to say? There's some fun roads around my area that would it's like if I had like $50 million, I'd love to get with the city and just be like, all right, me and my friends are gonna host a rally race this weekend on these country roads. But getting back to the issue at hand with like a London Grand Prix or whatever. First, would a London Grand Prix therefore like do in the British Grand Prix at Silverstone? And two, don't you guys have a lot of busing and underground subway transportation that could kind of take care of or lessen some of the transportation problems with closing certain roads down?
Yeah, the underground certainly. Let's not forget, we run one of the biggest marathons in the entire country. Sorry, in the entire world, the London Marathon, through the streets of central London. So, you can look at that and think, there is a case here. We are looking at technically 4 or 5 days rather than, just a 1 day for a marathon. But I think that, London can handle the movement of people pretty easily. I think that the businesses won't be too unhappy about it because they'll get so much exposure from it. And no, it won't get rid of the British Grand Prix in the same way that you've got the 2 Spanish Grand Prix, one in Spain, one in Valencia. Previously had one in Germany at the Nürburgring, one at Hockenheim. You had one in Imola, one in Italy. And let's be honest, of all of the street circuits in the world you can race at, aside from Monaco, you're going to want to race at London. You're going to want to win at London.
All right, I can agree with all that stuff, but the way Formula One's been going these days, where do you start putting races like that in the schedule? We're already up to 19 races, and if New Jersey ever gets their stuff together and they get a second Formula One Grand Prix in the United States, that pushes it up to 20. I mean, where do you go? Do you have 21, 22, 23 races and get rid of the summer break, or do other races have to start falling off the schedule?
Both. When you think about it, a lot of these racetracks in the Middle East, in the Far East, they're funded by state government money. And it basically is the world's biggest, billboard saying, hi, look at us, come to our country because we can host a Formula One Grand Prix. The Korean Grand Prix kind of sucks. The Indian Grand Prix kind of sucks. The Russian Grand Prix won't last too long, especially with the political unrest that could be happening over the next year or so, with the Ukraine especially. China's a key market. You will always keep China. You will always keep Japan. But then there's these other tracks where, they've tried it, it's not really working. You've seen the fans at some of these races, Dave. They don't actually give 2 shits about the Grand Prix. They're just there because, oh, look at that. It's a nice day out. I can spend money.
Wait, I didn't know, like, in India or Korea there were even fans there. I thought the seats were painted like people. I mean, there's nobody there.
There isn't, no. I mean,
seriously, if all of a sudden somebody dropped $4,000 in my lap and said, here, go to the Korean Grand Prix, I could fly over there, get a ticket, and walk in there and race morning, and I could probably sit wherever I want. Yeah. I'm looking at the schedule here for the upcoming season. So you have Australia, Malaysia, Bahrain, then the Chinese Grand Prix, in Catalonia, Monaco, as you like to call it, Montreal, and then Austria, British Grand Prix, Hockenheim, Budapest, Spa, Monza, Singapore, Suzuka, Sochi, Austin, Sao Paulo, and Abu Dhabi. So, I mean, some of those Middle Eastern country tracks, I mean, as long as the governments keep funding them, they're never going to go away.
No, and it's with that, let's not forget, it's not just the Grand Prix. For example, Yas Marina, you've got Ferrari World there, and essentially, like, Mercedes and Renault, they'll use that to just get their clients to go to the Grand Prix to buy one of their cars.
Exactly.
Singapore as well. People forget how rich Singapore is. I mean, the horrible thing is, the Hungarian Grand Prix, it got better. In fact, it's had some of the best races of the season in the last couple of years, but it's a shit track. It really needs to go. The Red Bull Ring, I'm glad it's back because I love that racetrack, but I think it might be a short-term deal. And I think out of Austria-Hungary, you could alternate them very easily. I think Belgium before has had to alternate dates. We've seen Canada alternate dates before with other tracks. Get rid of the race here or there. I mean, you've got to keep Spain with Alonso there, but we're at 19 races. Formula One needs to evolve, and we're no longer in a recession. I think that we can go to 24 races, and yes, it's more hassle on the teams, but you're making it in such a way that the engines have to last longer. So yes, you have a lot of cost, but if you're a customer team, the cost is the customer teams that all these restrictions came in for last time. The customer teams aren't going to suffer that much. It's all the work teams that will put all the money in that's going to have the big issues. So I think that you can add another couple of Grand Prix, because of course you got the one in Mexico coming soon, which will be amazing. I love that racetrack. And I think that you've got Argentina want to come back, for example.
You're not getting anything there.
No. But I think there are a number of racetracks that want to come back. It is time to start increasing the schedule again. But you've got to do it with countries that actually give a shit about Formula One.
Agreed. So, yeah, but if you're strictly going on the, gives a what about Formula One, you could basically eliminate all the Middle Eastern countries because they don't care. They just want the billboard, hey, everyone's paying attention to our country for this next 2-week period or whatever.
And in answer to your previous question about the British Grand Prix, what I'd do is I'd move the British Grand Prix back about a month, and then I'd put the London Grand Prix in August Bank Holiday weekend. Simple as that.
Gotcha. We've been awful serious so far for the first 40 minutes, and we haven't really talked about the Daytona 500 yet. And,
I know, we've managed to do a podcast for 41 minutes without talking about the biggest race of the NASCAR season. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate Jimmie Johnson on becoming a 3-time Daytona 500 champion. I saw it on Fox News, and therefore it has to be true.
Well, Will, unfortunately, it is not true. And the fine folks at Deadspin.com did a story about how, as they called it, quote, scores of idiots don't realize Fox is airing last year's Daytona 500. This story was posted Sunday, 4:38 p.m., in the midst of the 6.5-hour rain delay, where apparently NASCAR fans, many of them, cannot read the ticker on the bottom that says, and I quote, "You are now watching coverage of last year's Daytona 500. Coverage of today's race has been postponed due to rain." And Twitter lit up with tweets.
Can I just say, first of all, it was the same race as last year because it was a replay. Lap for that, couldn't you not have guessed what was going to happen next? And now, I know that some people like their moonshine. However, you can't be that stupid, even if you are a purebred redneck. And I can say that we're no longer an ETV Motorsports Radio Network. And also, how the fuck can they drain 4 inches of... I mean, this isn't verified 4 inches of water. We didn't get Monty McGrath out there to go and take a measurement.
With their yardstick.
But, yeah. But, how can they clear out that much rain and then have a race and it's sunny skies that quickly? Come on, America. You're not that stupid.
Well, I have 3 words that explain the whole situation. You ready?
Yep.
People are stupid. People are stupid. They are so stupid, they can't even read the crawl on the bottom. They can't even figure out that, hey, this looks an awful lot like last year's race. Hey, what's Austin Dillon doing in the 33 car? Harvick's in the 29 again?
Yeah.
Kyle Busch changed his paint scheme under caution? Let's read some tweets, shall we?
I'm going to start with ESPN. Because, it wasn't just Fox. They got an ESPNW, which stands for ESPN Women. Here's the highest placing woman at Daytona 500. Keep pushing the boundaries at Danica Patrick. #respect, #pride. Congrats to Danica Patrick. Danica Patrick, the first NASCAR driver with 1 million Twitter followers, now 2. Time to flip on Daytona. Danica Patrick in the front 5 with less than 10 laps to go.
Yep, ESPNW. That was last year. I mean, come on.
We got?
Here's a good one. Here's a good one for you. So, Kevin Harvick at Kevin Harvick posts an Instagram picture. It says rain delay interview, and then A few minutes later, at 3:38 p.m., in the middle of the rain delay, Melissa Rogers at Melissa Dawn R75 tweets at Kevin Harvick saying, "Kevin Harvick, your hashtag Daytona 500 still says 29. Number 4? Question mark?" Yes, because Harvick went back to the 29 car after the rain delay. They put Austin Dillon in a 33 car, took the 3 off, and put a 29 on it, and said, "Hey, Kevin, we'd love to have you back at RCR for the rest of this race."
Well, that's because he failed tech, and he was like, well, Stewart Haas is giving me a bad car, so maybe I need to go back to where I was.
Yeah.
At 3:45 p.m., Eric Scheffel at Eric Scheffel says, "Wait, Kyle Busch changed his paint job? Wasn't he Peanut M&M? Hashtag Daytona 500?"
He obviously realised that, he has no testicles, so therefore can't be using something that would imitate him having any form of nuts.
At 3:51 p.m. at Jordan Nilsson, "Hopefully Stewart's leg is okay. That was a hard hit."
Oh my
Hashtag
God.
Daytona 500.
At Sophie LeBlanc 16, first full lap by a woman in Daytona 500. Hashtag Daytona 500, hashtag Danica Patrick, hashtag you go girl. First of all, I think Danica Patrick actually did a lap in 2012. Then she crashed, so let's chuck that one away for the starters. Secondly, if you love Danica Patrick that much, surely you might remember the last year when Danica Patrick did lead a lap in the race, and therefore it wouldn't be the first time a woman led a lap in the Daytona 500 if she led it again this year.
Here's another one from Jim at WM5L. "So nice to see Tony Stewart out so early in the race. Love it." That was at 4:25 p.m., still during the rain delay. At Hammer on 88. "Damn, what happened to the 88's new paint scheme? Where's the gold numbers at?" Hashtag Daytona 500.
You missed the bit about 50 Cent there. The racist comment that came out at the end of that
Oh,
tweet.
yeah. Well, I kind of decided to leave that part off because I'm racist enough with you as it is.
True.
At J Dukes, "I don't do hashtag NASCAR, but did I just see James Franco do the start your engine thing? Is this a repeat? Didn't he hose it up previously? Question mark."
He's
I
kind of
turned
getting
on
onto
that-
something there.
At KateCat24, "I turned on NASCAR just because. I'm glad I did because James Franco is the Grand Marshal." This was at 3:20 p.m.
I mean, let's go into some serious shit here. Because, of course, Fox had a new graphics package for this year's Daytona 500. They sorted out the ticker. They sorted out the ticker, which is better. But
Fox!
Fox! But then people obviously think that people hated it so much that Fox would scrap all that and go to what they had last year.
And Fox News, like as you previously alluded to, the parent company of Fox Broadcasting, which was showing the Daytona 500, posted on their Facebook feed, "Just in, Jimmie Johnson wins Daytona 500 for the third time in his career. He previously won in 2013 and 2006. I mean, come on. Enough people make fun of Fox News as it is because they aren't like the mainstream media. Then they're going to go out and do this. Your own channel is showing the race, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
They're showing it. They're showing it. And you still couldn't get it right. I can understand that ESPN Women screwed it up because they obviously don't pay any attention unless it has to do with their little, ESPN agenda. But Fox,
Bada-bum! Bada-bum!
Hey!
There we are.
You remember the hay, right?
I
What
remember
that's
the
from?
hay. I remember the
Fox
hay.
Sports 1. And if you subtly notice, in a lot of their intro, outro, bumper music, all that stuff, you hear a little hey every time.
Da-dum-ba-ba-dum. Hey! Da-da-da-da. Yep. Also, this is just me being pedantic here. It's like they had to rush to get that ticker going really quickly. So it just said NASCAR on Fox every time it switched. And also, it was the old ticker that that Fox had as well from pre-Super Bowl coverage. So basically, Fox don't have any idea what they're doing with graphics. And you said that the graphics package was a fail, but actually, it's not as bad once you got used to it, especially as soon as they got it away from the right-hand side of the fucking screen.
It's still a fail, in my opinion, because outside of tracks like Daytona and Talladega, how far people are from the leader is hugely important, and you're never going to know that information with the Fox box.
Yeah, but they
As it
never
is
showed that
now-
on the ticker, on the old ticker anyway, except for every so often. And the Fox box, if you noticed, it went from 3 columns to 2 columns when they decided to put the. They did put speeds on there and the distances, so they went from 3 lots of free to 2 lots of free. So they have got the ability to do that. I think it does look a lot cleaner. One thing I didn't like about the last one is that it just had too many edges and curves and random bits, and it was just trying to do too much. But at the same time, I think Mike Perry said that it looked as though a 5-year-old designed part of it, and I would agree. Some of the boxes, I mean, I could make in PowerPoint in about 10 minutes if I really wanted to. And we've gone 50 minutes into the podcast without talking about the fact that Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the Daytona 500 for the 2nd time. Now, I want to talk about this because there have been some people who have said that NASCAR is fixed. Now, I want to give you a quick reality check. Dave, where did Dale Earnhardt Jr. come last year in the Daytona 500?
2nd.
Where did Dale Earnhardt Jr. come in 2012 in the Daytona 500?
2nd.
Where did Dale Earnhardt Jr. come in 2002 at the Daytona 500, which if NASCAR wanted to fix it, they would have had him won?
Oh, I know.
It wasn't the winner, that's for sure.
Correct. Now,
I mean, he wasn't even. He was wrecked out, if I remember correctly.
yes. Now, let's be brutally honest here. And I mean this as a credit to Dale Earnhardt Jr. when I say this. That in many ways he became the Dan Weldon of the Daytona 500 for the last couple of years, due to the fact that he was the bridesmaid but never the bride.
Yep.
God, now I've got to imagine him in a dress. That will be a
No, you
great
don't.
that will be a great Diet Dew commercial.
The Dale call.
Yeah, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. has always performed at super speedway tracks. In fact, he's one of the most consistent, best drivers to run a Daytona 500 in the last 5 years. And he does deserve this victory, and he won it on his own fucking merit.
Absolutely. And the people that say, oh, like there's some sort of conspiracy theory that somebody happened to drop a chunk of Bear Bond on the track and it just happened to stick over his grill with 2 laps to go. He didn't want that on the car. You listen to the in-car radio, Steve Letarte tell him to pull up on the pace car and try to rub that thing off. They didn't want that thing on there. It's just, I feel
So it's a second green light checker, that car might have blown up.
Exactly. I feel so bad for Dale Earnhardt Jr. because he has to carry the insurmountable weight of the Earnhardt name around with him because every idiot junior fan wants him to be senior, and he's not going to be. He never will be. I like Dale Jr. because he's not Dale Earnhardt. He's his own person. He's a quiet, laid-back guy, but when he gets on the track, he does what he needs to do. It's not his fault that NASCAR doesn't have an intimidator style driver on the track. Tony Stewart's as close as you're going to get to that, but he's really been subdued the last couple of years, and a lot of the drivers have been just because, sponsors kind of run everything. I'm glad that Dale Earnhardt Jr. won. He won it legitimately. He had the fastest car on the track at the end of the race. He did what he needed to do. He won the thing. He was genuinely excited about it, and it was nice to see somebody be that excited about winning any race, let alone the Daytona 500. Because a lot of times when these guys wins, it seems like it's just so scripted. It's like, yeah, I won. Let me grab the checkered flag. He was genuinely excited. I think if given the opportunity, he would have just gotten out of the car and just went to the bar and had a couple beers to celebrate because he was just that happy with it.
It would have been vodka with Diet Dew. Get it right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, he used to be a Budweiser guy, so
yes,
I mean, he could have reverted back to that.
And you're right about Steve Letarte there because this is the last year that these two are working together. And I think that win meant as much to Dale to say thank you to everything that Steve has done for him over the last 5 years, as much as it meant for himself. And it means, for Hendrick as well. Let's not forget that he has been the least performing driver in Hendrick the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, he's consistent. A lot of times that doesn't get him wins, though, because, it just, no one's going to be Jimmie Johnson. But he outdid Casey Kane last year, and he outdid Jeff Gordon. He outdid most of the Stewart-Haas Hendrick cars. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Stewart-Haas is a Hendrick team, just with a shadow puppet, government running it, Tony Stewart. So I mean, for God's sakes, when Tony Stewart won his first race at, quote, Stewart Haas Racing, the first guy he called on the phone at Victory Lane was Mr. Hendrick. If you own your own team, why the hell are you calling Mr. Hendrick? Give me a break. It's a Hendrick team. But I digress, or digress, or whatever. But,
Degrees.
Yeah, I mean, degrees. Given the chase rules, if you gave this year's chase rules last year, Dale Earnhardt Jr. would have won the championship. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's obviously in position to win championships. When he won the Daytona 500 back in 2004, that led him into his best season ever, where he led the highest career laps led, 6 wins, like 16 top 5 finishes, and he had a shot at the championship going into the final race. If not for some bad luck during the chase, he'd have been right there. So, guy's perfectly capable of winning championships. He just hasn't had the luck with him, and I think Junior suffers a lot from, kind of, I'm not a psychologist or anything, but, insecurity and the pressure of just everybody wanting him to win, like, every race, every time, every championship, because, he's Dale Earnhardt's son, he's got to win, he's got to win, he's got to win, he's got to win. I mean, I can't imagine that kind of pressure. Well, could you imagine if, like, you had millions of people telling you, hey, you're not as good as your dad would have done this, you would have done that, or whatever. I mean, just that, you hear that enough times, it doesn't matter how good you are, how good you think you are, or know you are, that's got to weigh somebody down.
You just discussed everything that Danica Patrick went through for 3 years. And I will give some credit to Danica here. You think about it, she's in a very similar situation to Dale Earnhardt. It's like she's got every single hater for women in motorsports, every single woman who wants to be empowered by women in motorsports, kind of on her tail. And I think that Danica really, that has weighed on her mind in IndyCar, and that transferred over to NASCAR as well. And she will win a race one time. Yes, it will probably be at a plate track, but she'll deserve that victory because there's 36 races on a NASCAR season schedule for a reason. Because you've got to run 4 plate tracks, you've got to run 2 road courses. The same way that you can't take away any of Montoya's victories or Ambrose's victory. You've got all of these tracks for a reason. Not everyone's going to be good at Darlington. Not everyone's going to be good at Bristol. Not everyone's going to be good at 1.5-mile tracks. And I think that is the thing that people forget about NASCAR, is that there are some people who are very good at all tracks. And I'm going to put Dale Jr. in that category. In fact, he's going to a track where he's been really good year on year at Phoenix. And I am actually honestly going to say this. I think now, and especially listening to his interview on Fox Sports 1 the day after, he said quite clearly that he's not just going to spend the rest of the year testing. He wants to win more races. And now he's got that win out of the way. Do you remember back in Michigan in 2012 when he finally won that race? He actually had a pretty good end to that season.
Yes, he did, because it's like the weight of the world was lifted off him. The way the rules are now, he's essentially guaranteed the chase. He's got the whole rest of the season to be carefree and just go for it. He can just drive as hard as he wants. He crashes out a couple times. It's not going to matter. As long as he stays in the top 30 in points, he's in the chase. So, when he's happy and he's content and the pressure's off of him and he can just do what Dale Earnhardt Jr. needs to do, he's very successful. 2004 was a prime example of that. The end of the 2012 season was a good example of that. So, it'll be really interesting to see how well he does. And the other factor is with Steve Letarte leaving at the end of the season to go to NBC's coverage of NASCAR, those guys know this is their last chance to work together for the season. And I think those two help each other immensely. They both respect each other a lot and help each other. When you're Jeff Gordon's crew chief, there's a lot of pressure there because, it's Jeff Gordon. So these two guys kind of understand the pressure of where they are at and what they have to deal with. And I think they both build each other up, and they've been able to win NASCAR's biggest race together in their final season. This could be one of those deals where it's a magic run, and they're just running on, they're just running on adrenaline the whole year and making things happen.
Keselowski, Dodge, Penske.
Yeah, that was a perfect example too. Everything just clicked perfectly for him and crew chief Paul Wolf. Paul Wolf was just making decisions that were just seemed like left field. Coming out of left field, but they worked. The completely different fuel strategies, tire strategies, but they worked. He beat Jimmie Johnson, during his run of 6+ championships, how many drivers out there can say, I won a championship in the Jimmie Johnson era? I mean, when you look back at it 20, 30 years from now, guys like Tony Stewart and Keselowski and anybody else who can win a championship, if they can win a championship in the next 4 or 5 years, will be looked upon with like, wow, you beat Jimmie Johnson? You went head-to-head with Jimmie Johnson and Chad Knaus, future Hall of Famers, possibly some of the best driver-crew chief combination in the history of NASCAR, and you went head-to-head with them and you beat them? I mean, that says it all right there.
Now, let's talk about some of the other drivers. We'll start with Kyle Larson, because I said he was going to win the Daytona 500. Oops.
Well, I mean, obviously, we can't see the future, because if we did, we'd be really rich and we wouldn't be doing a podcast where only 3 people listen to us. But, I mean, he looked really strong in the duels. The guy's really good in everything he drives. He probably should have won a nationwide race last year, but, things just didn't quite work out at Bristol. Kyle Busch beat him out there in the one race, and he did everything he drives he's good at. World of Outlaws cars, sprint cars. He went to Eldora in the truck race and had a shot at winning that thing. Everything he goes into, he's really, really excels at. So, I mean, first restrictor plate race. How many guys have gone in NASCAR and won their very first restrictor plate race?
I can't think of one from at least the last 10 years. Except for Trevor Bayne.
Exactly. Okay, so Trevor Bayne.
Let's not forget as well that I don't know how to say this without being harsh to Trevor Bayne. He shouldn't have won that race because of the fact, Regan Smith? David Reagan on the inside.
David Reagan.
Yeah, David Reagan jumped, quote unquote, the start. And, he would have won that race otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But, he was in the position to win the race. And, yeah, it was screwy circumstances with, that's really at the height of the tandem drafting. But he had to survive 500 miles at Daytona in a race where everybody was wrecking everybody, because if you pushed on the right side of the car, you were dumping people and causing huge wrecks. Michael Waltrip.
I was about to say, we know that. Michael Waltrip still doesn't know that.
So, I mean, can't take that away from him. The guy won the Daytona 500. You never take that away from him. He can go home, go to his trophy case, and hold that Daytona 500 trophy whenever he wants. He's one of like 30 guys that's ever done it. And good for him. You know what? He was in the right position with the right team on the right day with the right circumstances. He made it work. At the end of the day, he had to put the throttle down to the floor and hold that steering wheel and make it happen, and he did. So good for him. So besides Trevor Bayne, though,
and the Wood brothers.
Exactly. So besides him, 15, 20 years, who's won a super speedway race their first time out? I mean, it's a whole... Exactly. It's a whole different animal. Unfortunately, Larson had a lot of problems right from the start, and he was doomed to fail from hitting the wall at the beginning. So,
yeah, and let's not forget, you can't work on your car under a red flag period. So people are wondering, well, why can't he just fix his car? You can't.
Exactly.
In fact, that actually proved to be a big difference maker. Kurt Busch is arguably the one who suffered the most of that. From running a day, and you set your car up to run in certain conditions, and this shows that racing at a plate track is a lot harder than people think. You went from a day race to a night race. Kurt Busch's car was shit.
Yeah, Kurt Busch was leading laps at the beginning when it was warm, but still daytime. Once the race restarted, I mean, I don't think Kurt Busch ever led again or even got close to the front.
And Kurt. He was on NASCAR Race Hub, actually, on Monday. And typical Kurt Busch. It was just like, he was complaining that NASCAR didn't throw a caution when he went into the grass. But in a way that won't get him a fine for actions detrimental to the sport of NASCAR. And it's kind of funny, actually, because I think that Stuart Haas liked the fact that Kurt is like... And more importantly, it's one person financing Kurt, and that's Gene Haas. I think Gene likes Kurt's attitude.
He has to, because why else would you put him in the car and put your own money on the line? Obviously, Gene Haas has more money than he knows what to do with, a.k.a. trying to start a Formula One team. But, I mean, he's a pure racer. He's a guy that would have fit in the sport awesome 25, 30 years ago. Yeah. In the era of Dale Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip, Cale Yarborough, no corporate bullshit. You know, you go out there and you race your ass off, and you go win races, and you piss somebody off. Who cares? I mean, people love Dale Earnhardt because he pissed people off. He'd wreck people, you know, flip you off in the middle of a race, run you off the track. I mean, he loved it. You do that now, it's like, oh, he wrecked somebody. Oh, you know, it's a
Outside
completely different era.
Darlington, you know, it's not
Exactly.
acceptable anymore.
Right, exactly. I mean, Busch, you could see Kurt Busch jumping out of his car, wiping his windshield off under caution.
Yeah.
Like Dale Earnhardt did at Richmond.
Let's think about some of the other drivers as well. It's like Hendrick had a bit of an up and down day. You know, of course, they had Junior winning it. The rest of the team, not so good. Stuart Haas had a horrible day. I mean horrible day by even their standards.
Yeah, Stewart had the fuel pickup issue. Danica crashed hard into a non-safer barrier wall, which is another story, probably for another day since we've run an hour already.
We're not on ETV anymore. We can talk.
Oh yeah, we can do whatever we want. Okay, so you know, Daytona Daytona doesn't have safer barriers on every wall that can be hit. That needs to be changed, and it needs to be changed ASAP. Same thing at Talladega. Continuing
Greg Moore
on,
is a perfect example for that. At Michigan, he would have survived, arguably, had there been a safer barrier and not a huge concrete barrier on that inside wall at Michigan.
Well, if it was, you mean at Fontana?
Fontana, yes.
Well, two issues. Safer. First off, if there was no grass, he never would have flipped over.
Correct.
He would have hit that. He would have scrubbed a ton of speed off sliding into that wall, hitting the wall with any part of his car, not the, cockpit helmet first. And therefore, that wall was a ridiculous angle anyway. And two, yeah, if it would have had all those things, even if he would have hit at 200 miles an hour if there was a safer barrier there, that yes, he probably would have survived. But anyway, tangent back.
I think you're making a good point here, though, because everyone is having all these debates over the free car return and the free car not returning this, that, and the other. If NASCAR fans really care about Dale Earnhardt's death, they need to petition NASCAR to make the sport safer. And we talked last week about the spectacle of NASCAR. They need to petition NASCAR to make things safer. Pocono was the fucking horrible example about that. Until a couple of years ago, they didn't have the safety mechanisms on the track in case you had a big crash. This is the biggest, most famous track in NASCAR. I say biggest in terms of capacity, not in length. I'm not that fucking stupid. But this is the biggest track in NASCAR as far as fans go. It's the biggest track in NASCAR as far as stature goes. Yet you still have parts of the track when you can hit the wall and essentially be hitting a concrete barrier. What the fuck, Brian France?
Exactly. Daytona is spending how many millions of dollars to redo the speedway and all the seats and all the grandstands. They can take a few million of those dollars and put safer barriers down the whole front straightaway, down the little short chutes going into the tri-oval. They can put safer barriers on that pit exit wall that leads into the infield road course, where during the Rolex 24 early in the race, a car blew a tire and slammed into that wall head on, no safer barrier. Harvick hit that wall after the race was over because he was in an accident. He got pushed by McMurray, I believe, and once they got unhooked, he spun into the infield and hit an unprotected wall. So, I mean, there's no excuse for it. Yeah, it's $500 a foot or something like that. But if it saves somebody's life, what's $500 a foot?
Precisely. And let's be honest, I think every NASCAR fan at Daytona will be happy to pay an extra $1 on their ticket. And that's all it requires. An extra $1 on every ticket for a full race, a summer race and a Daytona 500 to make that happen.
Exactly.
Consumer advice here on the Will and Dave show.
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing? A public service announcement?
I don't know.
Mean, what is it with Thursday episodes that are so serious in nature, but yet very informative?
Yeah, I think we're onto something here. But still,
well, we got to do something because John Porzik says that we do the show at a bad time for him to listen. So he says we need to do something different.
Well, You can watch it when you're at work tomorrow, Porzik. There you are. You'll be fine. I mean, Danica had a huge hit as well. I mean, that hit by Danica, that's a second huge crash in the Daytona 500 in 3 years.
Then she crashed in the just showdown, didn't she? Down the front stretch?
Yeah.
Yep. Right before the safer barrier started for the trial.
And you, that on board, I mean, all of a sudden you kind of realise where Danica takes her hands off the wheel. Because if she had her hands on that wheel when that crash happened, she wouldn't have a wrist on either hand.
Yeah, that would have hurt a ton.
So, I mean, again, we've had a big wrecks this year at Daytona. And, I mean, I also think as well, the safer barrier needs to double in height.
Double in height. Well, you shouldn't have to double the height if you can keep the cars on the ground.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you double the height of the wall, you'd have to raise all the catch fences up. You'd have to raise up the concrete wall behind it, therefore, wouldn't you?
Yeah, in theory, yeah. So, again, I mean, this is a big exercise. And this is the sort of thing that I think you'd only want to have at Daytona, Talladega, Indy. Really. It's the sort of thing that you really only need to have at those 3 tracks. Because, let's not forget, at a track like Marty or Bristol, you're not going to be crashing at that higher speed. But I think that you need to have a rule that it's a sliding scale. A safer barrier works really well at certain speeds and certain conditions. However, we saw it this year in practice when they just tore part of the fence away. Make the safer barrier higher, even if it's along, you know, the key areas. So you have a safer barrier around the entire track, a double safer barrier in key areas, and then make sure you have a transition, not a huge pillar that you can hit and right at the line, at the seam. I think that way that you can minimise the additional costs there, but I think that it will help as well. It will stop cars flipping over a lot more than they do. It'll keep cars closer to the wall. And also, let's not forget about this day. One of the things that safer barriers does is it kind of drags the car along it rather than spinning the car back out onto the racetrack. I think a double height safer barrier will help stop what can be a 2-car incident in becoming those 20-car incidents, which of course rednecks love.
Oh, you're so loving of the rednecks. But, yeah, you know what? It's, unfortunately, safety innovations never seem to happen fast enough.
Until something bad happens.
Exactly. I hope we're at the point where they'll start trying to get a lot of these things at least started before anything bad happens. I'm sure they were considering a lot of different things. There might be something in the works we don't know about, different kinds of catch fencing or whatnot. I'm going to try to remain positive on this, Will. Let's just hope that they're trying to work on different things that we don't know about yet, and hopefully in a few years it won't even be an issue.
Right, let's run through a couple more things very quickly. Denny Hamlin almost got the treble. In fact, he was a tenth away from getting the treble. But the treble curse still remains.
Wait. Triple or treble?
Same thing.
What's treble? Treble is like treble is the adjustment on your radio for bass or treble.
Not over here. It's not. It's when you get, you start off with 20 in darts and you get a treble 20, makes it 60.
Oh, you're trying to make a darts reference?
Yes, I am.
This is America. America.
This
is a very far-fetched reference.
Okay, so basically, in translation from British to English, Denny Hamlin was trying to win 3 races at Daytona this week and came damn close, finishing second in the Daytona 500. Got to give him a lot of credit because apparently he couldn't hear his spotter for the last half of the race.
That's scary apeshit sort of thing. I mean, I need my spotter when I'm running sim racing. I mean, on a Carb Cup race, I rely on my spotter. It's 15 laps. Yes, it's crazy, but I rely on it. Now, I mean, we weren't 3 wide, 15 deep the entire race, but there were times where we were. And how the fuck are you supposed to tell? You can't really see much out of those mirrors at all. But as far as heads-up driving goes, Denny Hamlin gets my award for probably Driver of the Year for that already. And we're only on the 27th of February 2014.
Denny Hamlin also had the benefit of not having pack or tandem racing. The cars were a lot more spread out, so if he did pull out, chances are what little he could see in his mirror, he could at least kind of tell if somebody was near him.
Yeah.
I do hope that NASCAR does something with the rules package. You shouldn't be able to just weave back and forth in front of each lane as they get momentum and get pushed forward.
Well, so where the IndyCar rule comes in. I mean, it's for very different circumstances, of course, because weaving in an IndyCar is catastrophic. The one lane rule works there, and I think you don't want to make it too sterile in NASCAR, because let's be honest, in lap 198 of the Daytona 500, lap 199, you're gonna weave no matter what.
Well, you don't need a weaving rule. Put a strip or something on top of the car, on the roof, like they used to, that allows the cars to suck up. That's all you need to do. You don't need to have any rules. If you can make the series rules where it enables cars to pass each other easier, then go for it. I mean, when Denny Hamlin got out as far as he did in the duels, you knew no one was going to catch him.
Yeah.
If there was a strip on each car, I guarantee you those guys are at least been able to suck up to him. And I hate this side drafting thing. Yes, it's a part of the strategy of plate racing. But a guy gets a run, I get real close to him on the side, I slow him down. I mean, it's so hard to pass at Daytona, and I'm sure probably Talladega, that it sucks, because on the last lap, if you're not first, second, or third, you really got no shot at it. And that's really not what plate racing's supposed to be, right?
I completely agree.
Wow, the first time ever.
I know. Well, I know, I completely agree. I think, Harvick made some very good detailed comments about the side draft after the dual race, and also after the Sprint Unlimited. And I think he nailed it there. I mean, yes, it is an art. You don't want to make it so easy that, coming out of turn 3, turn 4, you're the sitting duck. But at the same time, you want to make it so that, people can actually race, and you don't have to rely on all these things like side drafts. I have to give a shout out, actually, to Casey Mears and Landon Castle. Casey Mears, P10 in the Germain Racing car. Landon Castle, P12.
Yeah, great job. Even more so for Castle than Mears, because Mears is in an established team with the RCR Alliance. Castle, I mean, I couldn't even tell you what the team name he races for is, and he got hit riding his bicycle, got hit, knocked down. He basically landed on the ground face first, and had to race his way into the Daytona 500. Did that and got a top 15 finish. I mean, no wonder everybody on iRacing loves the guy.
And let's not forget also that rookie of the race was Alex Bowman, coming home 23rd in the BK Racing car.
Props to Mr. Bowman. He also had to race his way in. I mean, in January, he didn't even know if he was racing or not. He had kind of had a couple good tests with the BK team, and they kind of went out on a limb with him and put him in the car. He qualified in. His teammate Ryan Truex did not, who's definitely, I would say, more established than Bowman is. Bowman qualified his way in and, had a solid race for his first time at Daytona. So, I mean, you can't really ask much more than that, than to bring the car home in one piece at the end of the day. Will, since we're on iRacing all the time, don't you think we should maybe talk about 16th Street for like a moment?
Yes, in one moment. But first of all, we're going to talk about Austin Dillon.
I mean, what can we say that
he came ninth? Let's be honest. He came ninth, which is one place lower than Danica Patrick, closer to last year came. But he was mighty close to, he could have easily been P7, P6.
Well, he was lucky he was in the position he was after, getting his car banged up and getting in a couple of, skirmishes with a damaged car.
I'm trying to figure out, was it him who just made that huge move towards the end of the race on Kyle Busch?
I think it was, and that's because Harvick was pushing up into Kyle Busch. I don't even remember anymore. I mean, it's basically after Junior crossed the finish line. They didn't show any more replays of what really happened on the final lap. So the only reason the only reason I knew that Harvick hit the inside wall was because on Twitter 3 days later, Harvick commented about the soft wall not being there, and somebody, a photographer, taking a picture of his car like smashing into that wall at that moment. Like, oh crap, I didn't even know that happened.
Well, and yeah, I mean, he did a good job though. And it's not a result he would have wanted, but we talked about this earlier. How many rookies win their first Daytona 500? Not many. Before we talk about sim racing, the birthplace of speed is not Daytona.
No, it is not. It's Indy. And I'm a diehard NASCAR fan. I've watched NASCAR for 25 years, and yes, I'm only 30. I've watched NASCAR for 25 years, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is the home of speed. Yeah, they did speed testing on the beach and blah, 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 but that had nothing to do with the Daytona 500. Yeah. So get the hell out of here with that. It's just like, oh, NASCAR's got the best drivers in the world. No, they don't. They don't. They really do not. Because if they're the best drivers in the world, nothing against Kevin Harvick or any of these guys that race in NASCAR, wouldn't they be in Formula One?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, there are guys talented enough in NASCAR that if given a different career path or whatever, they could probably be in Formula One.
Yes,
but you mean to tell me that David Reagan is one of the best drivers in the world?
Of course he is.
David Gilliland. David Gilliland is one of the best drivers in the world. Really? He's better than Simon Pagenaud. He's better than Will Power. He's better than Felipe Massa. He's better than Sebastian Vettel.
Well, he's much better than Sebastian Vettel. I mean, he can drive at over 200 miles an hour.
Come on, just because you have a beef with Sebastian Vettel doesn't mean that you can't at least give the guy props for winning 4 Formula One World Championships.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, that's something that no one can...
You know, if Formula One wanted to have a true World Championship, they should at least do one big oval race just for the fun of it.
Heck, I think they should run Indy in 2016. I'm being deadly serious about this. But they can't because they're in Monaco.
You know, though, Monaco does not always line up with the Indy 500.
No, there are some weeks when it's the week before. And it all really comes down to the Cannes Film Festival because it's always the week after that. So I'm sure you could...
Isn't it? Yeah, because isn't that a holiday weekend in France?
Yeah. Is it one weekend a year when they don't go on strike?
You know, the French people don't even work enough as it is, and then they go on strike all the time. How the hell do they pay for anything?
I don't know.
I'm of English descent, so I'm genetically bred to hate the French. I mean, you're English. I mean, you have to hate them too, right? I mean, they're just a bunch of stinky, whiny little bitches.
If you're French and you're listening to this, we do apologize. There are some French people I like. Dennis Garis, for example.
Okay, obviously they all are not. Like I really like Simon Pagenaud. He's a great racer, a great talent. Seems like a really awesome guy. But you know, there are just some people from France that are portrayed in movies as being stinky and arrogant and think they know everything.
Do you remember when I went to the Deutschland?
Yes, I do.
And we went onto the bus. One day we didn't go onto the bus, we went onto the train tram. We went into France to go and ride on a train tram. I don't understand why. What we did is we went there, and then we went as far as it went. We stopped, we walked across the platform and went back. That was basically our visit to France. And then we went to a university, which it was actually really nice inside, but they were all pricks in there. I mean, I can speak some French. I tried asking them for some directions, and they were just like, what the fuck? So... yeah, and I think as far as that goes, I think that's what I need to say here. We'll get some very quick opinions about the Daytona 500.
Did you start eating something in that last sentence, or what? You're like, well, I got some opinions on there. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Earnhardt because this
guy
was actually...
You're smoking a cigarette, aren't you? You're smoking a cigarette, aren't you?
Nope. This guy was actually in the pit stall for the Daytona 500 for Jimmie Johnson, not Jimmie Johnson, for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Hey, is that Brandon Trano Trost?
Brandon Trano Trost is banned from here now.
He
What's
is.
going on, Dave? What's going on, Will?
Hey, Mike.
I'm not bad.
Hey, wait, well, hold on. Before we talk to Mike, what do you mean that Trost is banned?
Like,
Oh my god.
Wait.
You have
Well,
to ask Dave.
well, this could be some good, podcast fodder. Please
He said something
explain.
You shouldn't have.
Please
banned in my
explain,
head.
Will. Okay, well, we all know he says a lot of things that he shouldn't say, but
We still need to do the
a
Trost
minute, he
pet
should-
shower debate.
He
Yeah,
should
would you-
be allowed to speak. I mean,
well, you guys got to start protesting him when he starts acting like an idiot on the forum. Maybe they'll take his forum privileges away.
there's not enough. There's not enough time in the day, Dave.
Apparently not. Okay, so Mr. Perry, you're at Daytona 500. Please tell us about your experience.
Yes, I was. My adjutant general for the Georgia Army National Guard and Mr. Hendrick were at a function. That's about as much as I know about that. They talked, and Mr. H invited 30 of us from the Georgia Army National Guard down there to spend all of Speed Weeks. I got down there Friday, hung out, watched truck race, rain delay, whatever, and then saw the nationwide race, and then came Sunday, got there, hanging out. All right, race is going to go. Watched the first 30-something odd laps, and then started racing, and I was like, damn. Okay, do I go home? Do I go find a bar and start drinking? Which I couldn't because I was in uniform, so that didn't work.
Wait, are you not allowed to drink in uniform in America?
No, the Army says no. You can have 2 drinks with your dinner if you're eating dinner, but I don't think standing up at a bar with 2 hot dogs in my hand until 500 would count. Believe me, I had enough people offering me beers all through the 6-hour rain delay. I would have been shit-faced if I would have drank. So, but my mom and dad were sitting on the back stretch. They did a last-minute come down for the race, and they called me and they said, "We're going home. Dad's got to work." I was like, "Have fun. 6-hour drive. Love, peace. See ya." And I stayed because I was just like, "Well, I ain't got to work Monday." My boss said, "Have fun." So I stuck around. They kicked off the race about 8:30, 8:45. Got down there. I was actually Josh Wise's tire guy invited us into his pits because Junior's pits were pretty much, on lockdown right at that point. But as the race, started to end, Mr. H told some of the guys, hey, they're all in uniform. Get them in our pits. So we started migrating over there, and when it got down to the last few laps, I mean, everybody, there was Florida guardsmen, and I was the only Georgia guardsman left. Junior crossed the start-finish line, won the race, and everybody went nuts. The crew guys were practically, high-fiving us, giving us, attaboys. We were saying, hey, great job, guys, da-da-da-da. And then we went to victory lane, and before I know it, Mr. H has told us to get up there in uniform and get in the picture, so...
Have you been able to get a copy of any of those pictures yet?
Yes, it's up in the forums.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
I'll send you a link. But yeah, it was quite it was interesting. I mean, need to say it was
that had
awesome.
to be kind of a surreal experience to be in victory lane with a Daytona 500 champion. I mean, how many people can say that they're in that position in their life or at any major sporting event?
Yeah, I mean, especially one where 6-hour rain delay. I could have been like, man, I'm done with this. It was pretty cool. There's a link to that picture for you guys.
I mean, also as well, there's been so many close calls for the National Guard car and big events in the last, 3-4 years. You think back to Weldon back in the Indy 500 for 2 years, and you think about, J.R. Hildebrand, the final corner of the final lap in the 2012 Indy 500. The same day, Dale Earnhardt Jr. running out of fuel on the final lap of the Coke 600. There always seemed to be a National Guard curse for a long time. In fact, that almost translated over to Daytona as well. So how satisfying was it to finally see the National Guard car embracing your colours hit victory road after so many close calls?
It was great to see it, and I'm just glad that the National Guard logo is on both the IndyCar and the National Guard car this year, because I don't know if you guys were aware, some congresswoman decided and teamed up with someone else to try to get to where military could not sponsor motorsports, specifically motorsports. As you know, the military sponsors a bunch of other stuff, but she specifically was saying NASCAR and NHRA. But
yeah, that was a joke. That was an absolute joke, and shame on her, whoever the hell she is, and all the people that supported her. I mean, that's a joke. I mean, the amount of support that NASCAR, IndyCar, and other motorsports give to the military, and I'm sure it's an equally beneficial relationship for the National Guard and other, divisions of the military in motorsports. To have somebody ignorant like that say that, oh, we shouldn't be spending, let's say, $50 million a year on motorsports sponsorships when we, buy toilet seats for $300 is just, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of places we could save money and not have to cut back on motorsports sponsorship. So shame on her.
It's bigger than that as well, because it's not just, the having the logo on the car, it's all the other bits. It's getting people down to the races. You look at, I'm going to talk WWE here very quickly. You look at any WWE event, you always see people from that local National Guard getting free tickets. And it's part of the partnership. WWE's got a partnership with the National Guard. NASCAR, of course, it's partnership with the National Guard. You've got the 88 car, you've got an IndyCar. Now Rahal Letterman Racing, the National. It's more than that logo, but it's a way of, educating people about what the Guard does, what it can do. And let's not forget, this isn't just a military unit as well. They're first responders in an emergency crisis as well.
Yes,
It'd be
exactly.
like saying thank you to your local fire crew in many ways.
Well, that's the thing, is that my job right now, full-time with the National Guard, is I work for Region 4 Homeland Response Force. We're just not a military unit. We help civil authorities and everything in case of large-scale disasters within the Region 4 FEMA region. And that goes for all the regions that FEMA holds in the United States. Each one has a National Guard unit that responds to that stuff. But not only that, I spent a year and a half, roughly, a year and a half, 2 years in recruiting and retention. And I saw the numbers that come from, the National Guard logo on this car, the National Guard logo on the Indy car. And, when you sit there behind a desk in a strip mall and you get a kid that comes in, he goes, hey, I heard about the National Guard. And you ask him, well, how'd you hear about it? Well, I saw it in NASCAR, in the, Dale Jr.'s car. Oh, great. The numbers are there, and that's the only reason why it stays, and that's why the National Guard puts so money in it. It's not a two-star general sitting up there going, I like NASCAR, I'm going to put all this money. It's not that. It's about the recruiting and retention, and to show, people here in the nation that, the National Guard's around. It's not a hidden military, So it's a good thing for the National Guard and the DOD to be involved in something like this. It's more visible.
I think that's actually a really good point. We'll talk about that probably a little bit more in another episode. But moving forward, we'll talk about NASCAR very quickly. Do you think that it could be a back-to-back victory for Dale at Phoenix? Because he's always kind of been good there.
As long as Clint Bohr doesn't spin it, no.
Well, it's not the last race going in the Chase. I'm sure he doesn't have poison ivy this year.
Yeah.
How's that Napa sponsorship going, by the way, Michael Waltrip?
Yeah.
Well, hey, Chase Elliott was a huge benefactor of that whole cheating scandal. Oh, I'm sorry, they didn't cheat.
Although there are some people on Twitter who thought magically under that rain delay, Napa decided to, mend their issues with Michael Waltrip and repaint the car.
Well, you heard about 50 Cent saying that if Waltrip won it, he was going to kiss him.
Yeah.
And
of course, Michael Waltrip, being the most feminine driver in NASCAR, probably enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, that's what I figured.
Well, that was because of Michael Waltrip's grid walk, a.k.a. rip-off of Robin Miller's grid walk from
Which
IndyCar.
Which is a rip-off of fucking Martin Brundle's grid walk.
So, a rip-off of a rip-off of a rip-off. Michael Waltrip said something to 50 Cent about, kissing Aaron Andrews or something, and he goes, you want to kiss me? And he goes, if you win the race, I'll kiss you. Because 50 Cent knew damn well that Michael Waltrip was not going to win.
Oh, we all know it. I'm sorry, when you spend 1 year coming out of the pits on the backstretch,
that
really,
was the
dude?
Jewel race, wasn't it, last year?
Yes, yeah. No, it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. So, I mean, really? I don't even know why he gets in the car anymore.
Yeah.
He's made a living on being Darrell Waltrip's brother, and
let's
he
be
was
honest, though,
fortunate.
we wanted him to finish the race because we didn't want him in the fucking Fox booth.
He was he was fortunate enough to be at DEI when they had just powerhouse restrictor plate cars.
Yeah.
Because if it was, because he never won a race outside of restrictor plates.
Nope.
Yeah. But back to Junior and Phoenix. I would personally, like to see Junior win that. It would be nice.
Harvick's gonna win it.
Yeah, it's gonna be Harvick or almost either Kurt or Kyle.
Yeah, Carl Edwards too has been pretty good there. I mean, he should have won the fall race had he not run out of fuel, and he won the spring race last year.
Wait, is this the one that's sponsored by Subway?
Yeah, I was about to say it's the Carl Edwards 500K.
No, this is not the. It's not Subway anymore. It's
what?
It's shit. What is it called?
Well,
the show The Prophet. The Prophet on CNBC.
Well, then that settles it. NASCAR is not rigging races. If it's not the Subway Fit 500 or whatever the hell, NASCAR, it's official. All the iRacing threads are null and void.
It's officially titled, quote, The Prophet on CNBC 500.
I'd love to see Fox talk about that.
Yes, I want to hear them. They won't. That.
Remember, Fox doesn't mention the race name by its name unless they pay for ad space.
I thought that was ESPN that does that.
No, Fox also does that.
I thought that was only for the National Rifle Association one.
Nope, Fox will do that. If you notice, some races they'll only refer to as like NASCAR Sprint Cup at Kansas, and they won't refer to it as the official name unless the company that sponsors it buys ad space.
Yeah, and I think the most deplorable one of them is ESPN with the Brickyard 400 because let's be honest, the last couple of years it's been for a fucking good cause, but it's still the Brickyard 400 powered by Golden Corral. You fat fuckers, go and eat!
Wait. Let's read the official name. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this all in one breath. You ready? You guys ready? Okay, here we go. Quote. The Crown Royal presents the Samuel Deeds 400 at Brickyard, powered by BigMachineRecords.com. End quote. That was the official name of the race last year.
Now, the one that really got me, and I laughed my ass off every time I heard them try to say it. Then they got tongue-tied on every one of them. Was the Atlanta one, the Great Clips Grit Chips?
Yes, Great Clips Grit.
I was like, oh my god, someone's gonna slip out with a shit here somewhere.
The grit shits.
Can I ask you a very important question? Did you see Molly McGrath with a ruler in the infield at Daytona?
No. About the only people I saw famous of any type was again 50 Cent, Jason Aldean, country singer, and Luke Bryan, and that was about it. And then I saw Kyle Busch's wife, and good lord, she's skinny.
Well, she needs to eat more M&Ms. It's obvious that the sponsorship money only goes to Kyle.
She needs to do
so terrible.
She needs to do something because I thought she was gonna break and fall down if she got another raindrop.
She got
on
like a nut allergy or something. Which is again the reason why she can marry Kyle.
That's why she's with Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's married to Kyle. He's a pretty nut.
Bunny.
Also, we haven't talked about this yet, Dave. How did Liz slip under our radar? What the fuck was that anthem on Saturday?
I was just gonna say that. I'm serious. I was just thinking. As soon as we kind of finish up this topic, I was gonna ask Mike specifically. What did you think of that anthem for the nationwide race? It was abysmal.
Well, it started off. I mean, I was sitting down towards the front of the at pit stall number 1 and just hanging out, and I'm sitting there listening to it. And I was in civilian clothes. I wasn't in uniform that day, and I'm sitting there listening to it. And I'm like, okay. That's a pretty interesting way to do it. Band, guitar, da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden, it starts raising up. I'm like, what the hell are they doing?
Yep.
And then it went further in it, and I was like, really? And then after it was said and done, I walked back down there to see who these idiots were, and I was just like, okay, well, the song fit their image, and then I went back when I got home and listened to it again, and, I could see what they were trying to do, but they failed miserably doing it.
Well, they started off with the Illuminati triangle. That was the American flag wrapped up into a fucking hat. It looked like a pirate's hat they tried wrapping it into.
Well, you know what that was for.
Oh?
I mean, that's how they fold the flag. Well, Mike could probably tell you better. Mike, why don't you explain it to him? So I don't want to step on my dick here. But tell him why the flag's folded that way.
What do you mean, as in no red showing and stuff like that, or the?
Right. I mean, I have my when my grandfather passed away, the Marines presented our family a flag, and it's folded in that particular manner with no red or white showing. What's the reasoning behind it?
The fold one, the 13 stripes represent the 13, states, all that. Fold twos, the 50 stars represent the 50 states. Fold three, I know not what, and don't take me on this. This is the whole ceremony, and I'm trying to remember it back from when I was doing honor guard with the National Guard. Fold three, we recite, I know. Now, of course, others may take. But as far as me, give the liberty, give me death. Fold four, these are the times that try the men's souls, the summer soldiers, and the sunshine patriot in this crisis. And it goes on and on. I'm not going to go through the whole folds. I mean, there's 13 of them.
Basically, what I think they were trying to do with that was show respect for properly fallen members of the military, because that's kind of when you see a folded flag like that, I would assume that's kind of what that means, what that represents. But it was just when you combine everything together, it just all seemed out of place. And I'm sure when you look back at the coverage of the race, Mike, you saw some of the reactions of the drivers while they were still doing the anthem. They were probably like, what the heck was that?
WrestleMania 14 came to mind here, and this is probably something that only Eric Vanek will know about. But WrestleMania 14 was just at the start of the Attitude Era, and the people who do the D-Generation X song?
Yeah.
They performed what they called a new wave version of the American National Anthem and America the Beautiful. And it's actually the only ever time that WWE haven't shown it at the start of WrestleMania, for good reason. Because
probably because it was terrible.
I'll play it to you after we get off air here. It was probably the most crazy version of the anthem I've seen since that. I mean, let's be fair. At least they didn't fuck up the words as Christina Aguilera did, or what?
Yes, Christina Aguilera did, and I remember that Macy Gray totally destroyed the national anthem at the Football Hall of Fame game a few years back.
Yeah. So I mean, it could have been worse, but not much worse.
True.
Very quickly then, 16th Street. We've done an hour 41 minutes and we haven't gone off track that much. What the fuck, Dave?
Probably because no alcohol is involved.
And we're not on ETV Motorsports Radio Network. We're going to go back to them. We're like, look
cowboy.
at this. Cowboy. 16th Street Racing League. Josh Chin isn't going to be the champion because his computer fucked up.
His computer totally screwed him. And I feel so bad for the guy. I've gotten to know him really well over the last couple months. And the guy... he's kind of like a young Tim Doyle. No matter where you put him, he's right at the front and is perfectly capable of winning races against the best competition that's out there in the IndyCar series. And to lose a chance at winning the 16th Street Championship because his computer failed him, I mean, if that's not
engine failure,
if that's not a kick in the nuts, I don't know what is. I mean, not to take anything away from Matt Cook, he's been very consistent on the ovals and come a long way on the road course. I'm sure if he was here, he would tell you that, he had, how many laps do you think he turned on an IndyCar on a road course before the season started? Probably less than, 20 laps. And to be able to be competitive and, be in podium positions, he got plenty of points there. He wasn't going to win the championship winning all ovals and doing terrible on road courses. So He's definitely a deserving champion, but it sucks that we couldn't see how it would have turned out. I mean, chances are that Matt Cook was going to win the championship anyway, just because he was more consistent, and Chin had a couple of issues in the beginning of the season that really hurt him points-wise. But, man, could you imagine?
It would have been a 3-point difference, because, I mean, with all the respect to Holgate in the world, Chin would have dominated that race, would have got all the bonus points, and he would have won the ILT Road Course Championship, and it would have been a 3-point difference going into the Auto Club.
Now, one point I will have to say against Chin would have won the race. Yeah, forget about how absolutely terrible lap traffic has been in 16th Street this season on the road courses. I mean, guys, listen. anyone out there on 16th Street that's not in like the top 10 or 15, have you ever watched a race before? Have you ever used the F3 button before? You got to be aware of your surroundings. I mean, it just killed me that Randy Chenworth came into the 16th Street race this past week as a, essentially a series rookie, came into the road course, was running second, and he gets taken out by Dave Jinks because he crashed. I mean, nothing against Dave Jinks, but I mean, he was a lap down already, and you got the second place guy coming. I'm sorry, just get out of the way. I don't want to be that guy that costs somebody a good points finish or a championship or whatever the case may be. I've been in that situation too many times where a lap car's taking me out of the lead of a race or something.
Well, the issue is people get shit scared when they deal with when they get laps. You don't. It's just like you're about to lose a position anyway. It's the sort of thing you give them the corner. And I think with Jinx there, the issue was that I think that he was paying too much attention to what Chenworth was doing and not enough attention to himself. Got down into Canada, didn't see Chenworth slowing down. Chenworth can brake a lot later. It was like, oh my god, I've got to brake. Slammed on the brakes. The car snaps to the right with the brake burst. There we are, game over. And if you just think about your own race in your own line, generally it works fine. And, anyone who does endurance racing knows that it's critical when it comes to that. And, I would tell everyone, before they run 16th Street next year, go and spend a season running in a GT car.
Yes.
Understand what it is like to work through and be worked through as traffic.
Yep, run the Corvette, run the Ford GT, or run one of the roughs or something. Get used to being on road courses and being around traffic, or make people watch, like the Rolex 24 for a couple hours, or the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Watch these guys, how they have to move and shuffle. And sometimes, you know what? If you're a slower car, you gotta hold up somebody for a corner or two till you get through and are able to, move to the right or left to let somebody go by. Don't just think, oh, I'll just slam on the brakes and let somebody go by, because things like that could happen. If you slam on the brakes and you're right on the curb, you could spin out into somebody. You might have the best intentions of letting somebody go, and you end up wrecking both of you guys.
Well, I've raced the IndyCar maybe twice or three times, and then milled around in it with Brandon here and stuff. And yeah, I hate you, Brandon, for that. You're racing, you're looking out forward, and you're not really watching the mirrors. And as fast as the Indy cars are and stuff like that, I've looked in my mirror once, and there's no car there. The side pod mirrors, and then I looked again, and all of a sudden I catch just a fraction of the car's wing or something. The rear wing. Because everybody likes to run real close, get that side draft and everything. I don't know how you guys do it in that damn car. It just freaks me the hell out. So that's why I stay away from it.
Dave, as far as Auto Club would go, though, you say that Cook would win at Auto Club. I think it would be interesting to see the pressure on both sides of the coin here, because, of course, Chin, he knows about racing under pressure because he's done it before. Now, Cook knows about racing under pressure as well. Let's not forget, won a Pocono 400. He's won ISOWC events. And, he was pretty darn good in the Fix Series the season that he won it. But, again, it's a different type of pressure in 16th Street, and it wouldn't have been a case of who would be the... Oh, hello. Who would have been the best driver. It would have been a case of all the other shit. Strategy, luck, being in the right place at the right time, and coming through the field. And let's be honest, both Chin and Cook have done that this year.
No, I think you might have misunderstood me. I'm not saying Cook would have won, is going to win the, final race at Fontana, but the duel between them with 3 points separating them, and the way those guys have been at the ovals lately, they've been on top of each other. It probably would have come down. I mean, the race still could come down between these two, but the championship could have come down to 100th or 1,000th of a second, potentially.
And also, Auto Club's the big unknown. It's a one track that no one knows what anyone's real speed is in these type of conditions.
Is the race going to be day or night? Is there a night version of Fontana?
There is a night version. Does anyone know if it's going to be day or night?
I don't think anybody knows.
Secret.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're waiting so long.
Well, no comment.
Yeah, come on, this is Will and Dave show. You can make a comment. Your name's first. You have to make a comment.
I think that the Iowa race showed up how busy Scott Manifold's been.
Yeah, I do not in any way, shape, or form like want to be in that guy's shoes, because trying to run a whole league, which sounds like by himself, is got to be more than difficult. And I'm sure, Will, that you can talk about that a little bit, running the ISOWC for the last several years. I mean, how does one guy keep track of a whole series? It's not like real life where you can.
The thing is, if it's all the tiny little things like setting up the sessions. I mean, the amount of times that I've messed up a session and had to redo it is unbelievable. But it's the sort of thing that you've got to set up the sessions. You've got to figure out things. You get people asking you questions. I mean, I work a full-time job, and I study part-time, and I do write-ups, and I do research. And it's a case of I literally have to timetable time on a Friday night. Now is going to be ISOWC time. And sometimes, especially in a flexible schedule like I know Scott is, you can't always have that time to allocate. And I think, let's give credit where credit is due. To be able to get the series to be in a position where it has run a second successful season has been good. By the way, Dave and Paul, talk amongst yourself for a minute.
Hi, Paul Jenkins.
Hi, Dave Judson.
Surprised to see you here, considering you normally turn up to lambaste us for talking about football, which we haven't done. So what brings you in today?
I've got to say, I'm relatively amazed you guys are talking 16th Street of all things, but hey, you know what? I miss you guys. That's what brings me in today.
You know, Paul, I made sure I had to bring it up because in honor of Matt Cook and winning the championship, he always recommended that I try Moosehead Lager. So I did pull a 12-pack from my local grocery store, and I do have to say I drank a bottle during the show, and I enjoyed it. So, Mr. Cook, thank you. This was not a paid endorsement of the Will and Dave Show. I did truly, genuinely enjoy the Moosehead Lager, and I will look forward to drinking the other 11 at some point in time. Not all at once, because the Will and Dave Show does not encourage binge drinking.
Well,
Moosehead, it's what beer is all about.
Yeah, we hear how much you've enjoyed it. You're starting to slur a little bit more as we're going further along here.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I always sound like that.
Yeah. I was going to say as well. It's like, it's funny because
hey, Mike, I race in the fixed series. I get banged around so much, my head gets all shook up. I'm kind of lost. I mean, I hate to admit this, but I pulled a Roberto Guerrero in the fixed race last night. I made this awesome freaking move from fourth place to first on a restart, and then the caution came out. I was trying to burn some fuel off by accelerating quickly and hitting the brakes to slow down. And when I hit the brakes, the car turned dead right and slammed into the outside wall, and I couldn't continue. So I went from fourth to first.
Exactly.
I went from fourth to first to 17th in a lap and a half, and it was basically all under caution.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, speaking of Andreas, the poor man thinks that he's the most awesome IndyCar driver in the world, and he doesn't like it when other people beat him. And when other people race him, like he races other people, he calls it dirty.
You know what we need to do,
Wait,
Dave?
I thought it was Trost.
We need to come up with a comparison between real IndyCar drivers and iRacing IndyCar drivers. Do a, side by side of each.
Oh, where do we start?
Oh my God!
We've got to start with the Paul Tracy one.
What? All right. Why don't you? Who am I then?
You see, I can give you for NASCAR. I don't know what I can give you for IndyCar.
Hold on. I got one for you. Hold on, and you'll laugh. Just keep going, and I'll get it to you.
Yeah. So we'll do that in another proper episode of the Will and Dave Show. I have to say though, 2 hours almost, Dave. This has actually been an informative, well done version of the Will and Dave Show on a Thursday, and we've barely gone off the rails, and we've only used about 3 sound clips the entire time, and we talked intellectually and came up with good ideas. Oh, Paul, you missed this earlier. We were talking about new engine people for IndyCar, then literally just as we finished talking about it, Autosport decided that they're going to do an article about how Cosworth are going to come back in.
I heard that about Cosworth. Imagine that.
Wait, why did you send me a picture? Is Ryan Norton Danica? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Danica.
No. As much as I don't like Ryan Norton, think he's an idiot. at least he can win races. And as most of you guys can attest, and I will say publicly because I'm sure he knows it, I hate the guy. He's an idiot. He's a megalomaniac and an egomaniac. But the guy can win races. He can win them. I mean, the statistics don't lie. He's a jackass, and he's an idiot, and I don't like the guy. But he can win, and that's why.
So is Ryan Norton Paul Tracy then?
No, I mean,
pile of shit.
no. God, who the hell would be Tracy?
I don't know.
Tracy, you know what? Tracy's talented, but crashes a lot. That could be
Me?
no, Paul.
I'm not as aggressive as Tracy.
No, you got to be. You would be whoever's had like the worst luck ever. That would be you, Paul.
Michael Andretti.
Mike, yeah, you could be
At
Michael Andretti. Yeah, you could be Michael Andretti.
Do I dare ask who I would be?
You don't run the IndyCar enough anymore. We can't.
You know what,
compare
Brendan?
anybody.
Actually, believe it or not, I think you might fit the Paul Tracy thing.
Oh.
Aggressive, fast, and wins if you don't crash.
Yeah, I guess that could work.
Yeah, that could work. We could offend a lot of
makes
people when we
sense.
do this. This will be great viewing for the next Will and Dave show. And very
That's
quickly,
right.
I have to do a very quick sponsorship link because, yeah, I'm doing sponsorship stuff. I'm advertising another podcast, Dave. I'm really sorry.
What?
I have to. I do 2 podcasts a week. Actually, not every week now. I do one every other week. But
Why was I never told about this?
I already told you about it. Starting this Saturday, it is the first episode of RaceSpot Presents WCS Spotlight Show. It'll be 1 p.m. GMT, right before the first round of the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. Rounds 1 and 2 will be on PSR TV. All but one of the remaining races from then on will be on RaceSpot TV. And the podcast will be every Saturday before the race at 1 p.m. It'll be 28 minutes long, specifically for all the Race Sport episodes. It'll be about 45 minutes long for the PSR TV because they don't show qualifying. So, and we've also got a very good interview with Ati Kirchhoff for our first episode. 14 minutes long. It'll be great to listen to. We recorded it earlier on.
Well, I hope I get a cut of this promotional money since you're taking up time on our show for this.
What, is that like 2 cents?
Where's this internet monies you promised us?
It's on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fat internet monies.
Yeah, fan internet
So
monies.
anyway, since you interrupted the conversation, so who's Matt Cook then?
Matt Cook, with my eyes, will be Scott Dixon.
All right,
Who
who's
would Trost
Good
be?
one. I'm trying to figure out who Trost would be.
Trost would be some guy who runs go-karts who thinks
I was
he's
thinking
Mario
Takuma
Andretti.
Sato.
Yeah.
You know what? I know Trost is 13 and he runs his mouth and he thinks he knows everything and he can't stop telling everybody how much he knows.
Hey, I take offense to that.
Hey, don't be stealing my gig.
Don't be talking about me, Dave. Hurts my feelings.
No, hey, this is BT, the real, true, 100% original. And I know everything. I got banned from Texas and it pissed me off. That's my favorite track, even though it doesn't have an apron.
Now we're going off the tracks, baby.
2 hours in, it's finally happened.
It took 2 hours, but it finally. But anyway, you know what? Someday Trost, I think, will mature enough
He's
to
a bit
look
like
back
you
at
in
himself.
some ways, and I'm really sorry for saying that.
No, he's
Wait,
more
wait,
like Doug.
You know, Dave,
Them's
me and you've
fighting
had
words.
me and you've had our little, pissin matches in the forums and stuff, but but
I'll
but
be 100% straight with you. Half the reason that I give you shit is because who you're associated with.
Wait a minute.
Hey,
It's all
Wait, who am
Trano's
I-
fault.
Wait a
I take
minute.
offense to that.
Wait,
No,
wait,
not
wait,
Trano.
Wait,
Never.
who?
What do you think?
Who?
Yeah, even I don't know
Norton.
who he's talking about.
Wait, whoa, now come on. I don't race under the broken arrow, and Brandon, I give Norton just as much shit as everybody else does.
Yes, but you're associated with us, which makes you a terrible person.
I hang out your frickin' team speak, Jesus.
No, it's because
And that's why you're a
in
bad person.
No, it's just anybody who defends Ryan Norton, I can't stand it. So that's half the problem.
I
That's
don't know.
all.
I mean,
So wait a second. So wait a second.
there's
No,
times I defend him, and then there's times I just go, Really, dude?
I know.
It's a 50-50.
And you know what? Some of it's just, hey, when you're on the internet, you can basically do and say whatever you want, because it's not like at the end of the day, it's not like I come up to your face and be like, hey, Mike Perry, you're such and such, and we can get into a fight about it. And you'd probably whoop my ass, but you know what I mean. So I'll be honest though, half the reason is because I saw you as a Nortonite.
Nortonite? Is that like kryptonite?
No, and a Nortonite would be like somebody who blindly follows, regardless of how wrong they may seem to everyone else.
Talking about religion, do you guys have Pancake Day in America next Tuesday?
Hold on, we got like 6 people talking at once. But see, we don't know that, because every time like Norton says something in the forum, and then we all attack him, and then you're coming out and saying like, oh, he ain't so bad, or attack us. It's like, hey, this guy's defending Norton. We got to do something about it. We got to.
Brandy said that was bullshit.
I would like to point out that Norton has been MIA for the past month, so we don't know where he's been.
And get to give two shits.
And it's been actually, I don't know, I hate to say this, but it's been kind of nice.
Yeah.
Why, yes, it has been.
He's not listening. But
yeah, you better hope he don't hear. Nice. You better hope he don't hear you.
Let's be honest. Do you really think he's going to listen to the Will Vincent and Dave Judson show? Really?
He's not listening. He's got his skirt on and he's playing the mommy game. He's not coming back on.
All right, Mike. I got to ask you a legitimate question.
Yeah.
What series or league, or are you able to race, or do you not have enough time with your duties with the guard and everything to race that much?
I've raced the 2.4 and everything. It just all depends. I raced the Phoenix race last night. Didn't do too well. I obviously skipped the 500 because I was in Daytona. But usually, I'm usually running, the B and now the A Cup car, and then most of the time the Daytona
the Danica breast size cup car.
Yeah. Hey, I do have a great picture of her grabbing her ass at Daytona.
Oh my god!
Wait, she's got to grab her own ass. Is it like is the that no one can grab it?
Hey, Tony Stewart doesn't want to do it. He's too busy grabbing Delena's.
I tell you what, that would make the weirdest porn movie ever.
Well, I was going to actually post up 2 pictures, one a week on captioning this, because I was just running around my cameras taking pictures of odd drivers doing stupid shit, and I was just going to, have a caption contest. So, who knows where it'll go.
IndyCar, I know you don't race it too often, but you're in the forum a lot. Are you waiting for the DW12, or you just don't like the fixed series, or what are your thoughts on the IndyCar?
I would love to drive the IndyCar, but there's
too many idiots.
Well, I'm going to say there's 3 idiots that I will not race with, because I've watched the races when Brandon and Brendan and everybody, there at Broken Arrow run, or whoever they're running with, I don't know. No Bueno Racing, I don't know. But when I've spectated them, I've seen some really stupid moves, and I don't know if it's because of the prediction code, or it's just that they thought they were going to get away with it, or someone was going to give in to them. I'm afraid if I get in that race and someone pulled some of that stuff, I would be banned forever, as the thing I would say.
I can tell you that I'm sure you guys know me enough that I'll run my mouth when I feel like I need to, and I've only once had my voice chat suspended, and I've only twice been suspended for a week for my on-track action. So in like 4 years, I've only gotten a total of 3 suspensions. So, a lot of the times I'll just say what I want to say in the team speak instead of hitting the push to talk button, and that usually relieves my stress.
well, I've got to watch what I do, because I was suspended for a month for saying bacon in the forum.
Bacon!
Wait a minute. Wait, you got to explain that.
Okay.
How can you get suspended for saying bacon?
Okay, well, it was week 13, if I remember it correctly. This is so freaking long ago. And people just posting complaint after complaint after complaint, bitching about anything and everything. So my response to each one of them, which was about, I'd say 30 to 40 threads, was, I like bacon. And all of a sudden I had a merry band of other bacon lovers posting the same thing. So I get banned for a month, and then the other guys get banned for a week, 2 weeks, what so? Just for saying bacon.
Wait, what did they say? What did they say you did wrong?
That
Were you harassing or something?
I was spamming the forums.
Oh my God!
Talking of that,
So,
I like it
wait a
when
minute.
you always get someone who's
Hey,
strong who
bacon
just
riot,
goes
be
to the
clear.
last
Well,
page of the general forum and just starts bumping something.
Well, you know, I have this strange feeling if I would have said I love turkey, nothing would have ever happened.
Because Sean Sifla is a turkey
Yeah.
sandwich guy.
Sean Tibbs just sent you a friend
new
request.
form of Russian propaganda.
Yes. I mean,
Damn Russians.
I just took the forum ban and just laughed. And I was just like, whatever, you know. So, but no, I've never been banned or suspended or for on track incidents because I'm fairly clean. You know, if I'm slow and guys are catching me, I'm gonna let you go. You know,
I gotta at least blame Chris C. Miller for my first suspension because I purposely wrecked him at Texas. After he made fun of me for not getting into my pit right. So I said, you know what, dude, if I'm not gonna win the race, you're not either. So I waited at the end of pit road, and when he came out of pit road, I just turned dead right into him and wrecked him. I mean, how many times? I mean, how many? This was the very first original Chris C. Miller account, not like the other 7 accounts
Alan
that followed.
Whitmarsh and
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So we couldn't get rid of the guy, and it's like the protest system wasn't doing anything. It's like we were protesting this guy for wrecking us like every single race, and they're like racing incident. We're like, come on. I mean, this guy wrecks somebody out of like every race. How can you say it's racing incidents? So I'm like, well, I'm gonna take the law into my own hands here, and then I get suspended. I'm like, well, I guess the protest system does work.
do you remember
There you go.
the Bart E. Linton moment?
Oh my God! At Homestead,
Believe.
I mean, he was everybody's hero.
Yes.
He purposely wrecked him under caution, and nothing happened to him.
well, you talked about the second account thing.
And third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh.
And they say that's a no-no, but I know you wrote an article about the man there, Dave. But what?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Be honest. I don't care.
How is it Goat can get suspended over and over again, and he can have a second account with nothing ever being said to him?
You can have a second account on iRacing.
They have his real name.
Yeah, you can have a second account on iRacing so long as it has your real name in it, and you don't use it just for wrecking people. If you use a second account just for wrecking people, that's when the issue comes. If you have a second account to protect your iRating on one account, so basically you run one series, for example, you try and go for pro with one account, and then you run your other account just for racing for shits and giggles, then it's okay.
No, go ahead, Mike.
Here's the part that I have a problem with. If you're suspended on the track for a specific situation, that you should not be allowed on the service until your suspension's up, even if you have a second account. I'm sorry, what's the point of suspension? It's sort of like the way NASCAR does the thing. When Kyle Busch wrecked, what's his name, at the truck race. Yeah, you're suspended, blah, blah, blah. But then what did he do 2 races later? He wrecked someone else on purpose. What'd they do? Oh, you're on suspension. It makes no sense. It doesn't teach them anything.
All right, since we're talking about Goke, when he is suspended, both of his accounts, Jonathan Goke and John Goke, both get suspended.
Okay.
Any account that's associated with your IP address or your processor gets suspended at the same time. And when Goke appealed his latest suspension 4 months into the 6-month period, he's only allowed to use his Jonathan Goke account. His John Goke account is still suspended. So he can't go, he can't right now because he's overseas.
Oh,
but
yeah.
he couldn't go on to John Goke even if he wanted to and go take revenge out on somebody.
Yeah, well, it's just this thing that it doesn't make no sense that they suspend him on one account but then let him race on another account. I'm sorry, but there's a reason why you're being punished for your actions on the track.
I could say that in his case, he wasn't racing on any other accounts during his suspension. Other people, you may know of other people that have secret accounts or fake names or whatever, but I can honestly 100% say with Goke, when he's suspended, he's suspended. He's not on another account.
Well, I wouldn't
'Cause
doubt
he's
it
te-
as many
'cause-
times as he's been suspended.
and you know what? The guy, we all, and I can perfectly understand why a lot of you guys are suspect of, him, trying to turn things around. I couldn't stand the guy when he was with Broken Arrow. Man, I can't tell you how many tussles me and him had.
Right, it's
But-
Team
before I got there.
Afterburn, not
Or
not
Afterburn,
Broken
I'm
Arrow,
sorry.
Thank you. Get it right.
Yeah.
We were the team
Right.
that ruined everything
Afterburn,
and
man.
everyone.
But
Will, did
I-
you ruin it?
you know what?
Yeah,
you know
it was
what?
Team Afterburn. They're the worst team ever. We ruined the entirety of the IndyCar series due to the fact that we were nothing more than a mega team of
Joke.
crash drivers.
This is just my case. I'm not saying this applies to everyone or should apply to everyone. But man, once I got talking to that guy, like outside of the whole racing realm, me and him are so similar. I think a lot of guys have
Oh,
problems with each
Jesus.
other because
Oh god.
Oh, jeez.
There you
know,
go.
There's only two things that I know that stick out about him in my mind from what I've heard from him and what others have told me. And now I'm really scared of you, Dave.
now I'm not saying that we're twins or anything, but when it comes to racing, we wanted to win everything and we didn't want to give an inch. So I mean, I've kind of backed off that a little bit, but I still try to win every time I'm out there. I just try not to piss too many people off anymore because I know I
That's
used
racing.
to tick a lot of people off.
Yeah, that's racing. We're all 43 or how many drivers are on the track. That's our sole mission, is to be number one. If you're not, then you're wasting time or you're wasting time.
Yep.
I
Trust me. I know what you're saying. I know
or
there's a
you're
lot
Will
of guys.
Vincent, you'd rather drink Starbucks and just do podcasts.
I know there's a lot of guys out there who are, and I was one of them. You're gonna have to see it before you believe it. And John's probably gonna have to work for a year or two at least without causing any problems before, skeptics maybe think, well, maybe this guy can change, because there's a million people out there that say, hey, I'm going to change, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to turn a new leaf, and 3 months later, nothing has changed. So I completely understand the skepticism. But
He's
for
a
me,
hell of a driver.
no, absolutely. But
I
for
mean,
me, go ahead.
Oh,
I was just gonna say, knowing him as well as I've known him over the last year, I feel that he's very genuine about it. But being in the middle, I understand that there's a lot of people out there that, and I've told them, you got to prove it to him. And so I hope that he does, and I hope that he's able to. I hope in a year or two, Mike, I hope you can say, like, hey, you know what? He's changed, and I'm glad he's better for it. I hope that there's I hope there's a lot of guys that come out of it in a year or two and be like, hey, John, you were a jackass, but you've made a lot of strides, and you're a better person for it.
Oh yeah, and I hope he does. I've watched him race, and a lot of his racing's pretty good, but it just a lot of the stuff he did when he got frustrated or something.
Yeah, I know.
He'd just get pissed off.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
You've never seen a college football game.
The screaming and the ranting and the off-color comments and just yeah, we all say things in the moment, but he would just go on and on and on and say things that are just were not right. And you know what? He knows he's got to do better. And because if he doesn't, iRacing has made it very clear to him, if he doesn't make it right, he's never going to be on here again.
Well, I just pray nobody steals his Kentucky Fried Chicken, because that would cause a shit storm.
It's all right. I've stolen it before, and I live to tell the tale.
You did? Okay.
No, I haven't heard him talk about KFC. He usually talks about Hardee's, Monster Burgers.
I heard he likes eating a lot of chicken.
He never talk. I mean, the only time we ever talk about chicken is when Will Vincent's around, because they don't have biscuits over in England.
No, we don't.
What?
We don't. We get fries with everything.
Will, you're going to have to come down to the Petit Le Mans this year, and I will take you for some of the best biscuits and gravy you will ever have in Georgia.
Biscuits and gravy? Can I get some
please,
for breakfast the next morning?
Please stop posting these pictures of Danica alongside the Will and Dave Show podcast. You're just
Is she nude on this one? Oh, damn it.
Oh God! I mean, come on.
Hold on. Damn
the
it.
topless selfie.
Hey,
No,
there's
I
we
got
didn't-
another one.
Brandon, are you even old enough to look at that yet?
Oh!
Hey.
You see, what I don't
Good
get right
Lord.
is you're old enough to
I had to-
have
well, I
sex
had to
at
stop-
the age of 16. It is 16 in America, right?
18.
You have to be
18.
18 to get laid in America?
Well, if you're
Technically, no.
well, if you're both under 17, then it's game on. But if you're
Yeah.
18, you got to wait till they're 18 or like within a year or something like that.
Okay.
Here,
You
Will,
see, in the
use this
UK,
one.
you can bang whoever you want when you're 16. However, you can't make a movie about you two banging until you're 18.
I heard a
Actually, no, you can make a movie about it at 16. You can't watch it until you're 18.
I had to stop Will Vincent from giving Brandon Trost advice in that area because Trost is only 13. We didn't want to. I didn't want Will getting in trouble or something.
Grooming.
Yeah,
There
he
you
was
go,
asking.
Will.
He was asking him if he'd ever watched a pornographic film. I'm like, Brandon, don't answer that question. It's illegal. Don't say anything. It's like I was I was acting as like John Porzuc. I was like his lawyer there for a minute. I'm like, don't say anything.
There you
Now-
go, Will, use that picture.
All right, we're 2 hours and 15 minutes in. We're definitely off the tracks now.
That's all right. We can't have a Will and Dave show without at least half an hour. of
Oh
being on
God,
track.
Perry.
Better
Yeah.
you play Mario Kart.
For those that can't see the pictures we're getting sent, it's a picture of Danica all bulked up for her Super Bowl commercial, and it is scary. Hey, where's the "We'll Do It Live" clip? I haven't heard that in a while on this show.
That's
Andrew.
that's Andrew.
With this now, we can do anything on the internet we want to do.
Well, I'm the wrong one.
Well, you need to play that one a little louder.
Okay.
With this net, we can do anything on the internet we want to do.
Wink, wink.
With this now, we can go and get someone to join us in the bedroom so I can watch my wife getting played by another man.
Oh God.
Okay.
See, are you regretting joining us, Mike?
Listens to you.
No, I'm actually enjoying that, but just to let you guys know my where I stand, on who I am, just go ahead and look at my avatar in TeamSpeak.
Wow.
That's kind of awesome.
I'm about a 7.5 on the cockometer.
Is that in inches or centimeters?
Where's Monty McGrath?
That is more of my attitude.
Okay.
So, I think this right here, everybody in iRacing should have one of these, and it rates you. And someone needs to come up with an app that takes this graphic and takes a number of something in iRacing, your incidents or what so, and dials it on the
Oh God! Oh God!
Wouldn't that be awesome? If anybody's listening and wants to take this on, PM me. If the app works pretty good and it's great, I just might pay you for it. This would be awesome.
The iRacing cock meter. It takes like your DNFs and incident points and ranks you.
Dave, get it right. It's the cock-o-meter.
The Coco-meter on iRacing is brought to you by the Will and Dave Show. Fridays, except for when we do it on Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on Glacier TV.
Well, what time is it over there in England right now?
Today is Thursday.
23:17 military time.
I was going to
What
say,
the hell is the matter with you?
hey, if we go another 45 minutes, the Will and Dave show will be on Friday anyway.
Yeah. I don't think
Oh,
we've
it's
got
Friday
enough
in
to talk
Eastern
about
Europe?
for that long.
Well, hey, there's a Carb Cup race in half an hour.
Right. So we've got to find
In
something to talk
Soviet
about.
Russia, it is Friday.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pass on that because I got to pack my shit for the 3-day weekend of going into the range and shooting things and blowing up things. Doing the
Why
army
are you
thing.
so far away from home?
The Carb Cup's
have
in
no idea.
Charlotte. That's no fun. The Carb Cup's in Charlotte. What fun is that?
But it needs to be here.
It's a blast. What are you talking about?
Yes.
Daytona. You need the Sonic
Hey,
the
speaking of
Hedgehog
chicken-
song.
Speaking of chicken, I'm going to
And
get
the
some chicken.
better driver goes in front of the lucky driver.
I'm going to get
I'm the better driver.
It's
BT in the
unbelievable,
house.
really unbelievable.
Oh,
what
wait,
you do.
BT's already
Better you
here.
play Mario.
Brandon Tranos Trust.
All the guys understand me.
Yeah, we all know we're in
It's unbelievable what is going on iRacing.
You're gonna end that year old debate
That
now.
is unbelievable.
Hi,
And
Brian.
the
You know what? Wait a second. You know what? I'm calling Trist out. I want to take him on
the better driver.
his track, his choice. We'll do a fixed setup and we'll determine who's better of the BTs.
It's Darren Ganji and Ben Cornett all over again!
Wait,
I want to be inside you.
Wait. hold on. No. So one of you have to paint your car like the STP-43, and the other one has to paint
Yes!
it like Danica's.
Brandon Trino can be Danica.
Yes,
I'm perfectly okay with that.
I think
Okay,
that would be
alright,
awesome.
All right, Brandon Trost, the challenge has been thrown to you.
He can even
Trino-
pick the car and track.
Trino, lay out all the details right now with no one else talking so he can hear you. Lay him out on the line, and we'll wait for him to respond, hopefully on the forums. Go ahead.
Alright, so I'm challenging Trust to a race. Whatever distance he wants, whatever track he wants, whatever car he wants, he can pick it, and we'll determine who's the better of the BTs. We're gonna end this debate right now. So I'm calling
Is
you
it-
out, Trust.
Is it a fixed setup race?
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever iRacing setup is created for that track and that car will be used, correct?
Yes.
Is it just going to be the two of you, or would you like to
Yes.
have a teammate? Okay, head to head.
Them two.
Head to head.
All right, well, Vincent,
Richard
race
Petty and
spots.
Danica.
Race Spot's going to broadcast this, right? Or is this
For-
going to be a
for a
Will and
nominal
Dave
fee,
show
yeah.
special? Can I commentate?
I'll commentate it with you. We'll do the Will and Dave show
Okay.
commentary on it.
But I want to be there too.
You want to commentate? Sure.
Yeah,
More the
sure.
merrier.
There we are.
We got to make this a pay-per-view event.
I can do pay-per-view events, you know.
Dude, let's make this a pay-per-view event. You know how many people would
Yes.
watch that? You know what else we should make as a pay-per-view event? The Trost Pet Shower debates.
Oh, God, yeah.
You and I could be the moderators. We'll treat it just like a presidential election debate. And
Can I be
I
the
mean-
guy asking the questions?
you could be the guy in the back that says they have 30 seconds left and they blow you off. I think we got some money making ideas here, Will, since I haven't made a single penny yet off this show.
Right.
I thought you went for a piss break since you hadn't responded.
Oh, no. I was too busy. I'm starting to post this on Facebook.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Trust that? It's about to go down.
I'm waiting for it to pop up on my feed.
Should I go ahead and place a ad? I mean a thread on the
Absolutely.
racing forum.
Start placing your
Yep, 30
bets
seconds
now.
left. They throw it on the forum. I'm gonna keep hitting recent until I see it pop up. I
Alright,
think
going to general
we got
topics,
some
getting
money
ready to do
making
it.
ideas
Hold
here,
on.
Will. Since I haven't made a Alright. single penny yet I off just keep this hitting show. recent every
Oh,
second.
God. The podcast
What,
just started
what?
playing itself over again. There we are.
What?
Carry on.
Late
happened?
breaking news.
Wait,
What?
Will, what happened?
Nothing much. Breaking news. Perry, go. Perry, breaking news. Go.
No, I think he was typing that for the
Yes,
forum.
I'm typing it up.
He talks while he types.
Yes, I do.
He's old school.
Yes.
He's not like talking into the computer to type it for him. He speaks it, then his fingers type it.
Even though that would be a fucking excellent idea, I need to do that.
Is this going on Facebook or the forums?
It's
No,
on
I'm
my
putting it on the
Facebook
forums.
right now.
I'm doing the forums, and it's going to be called Breaking News.
Right,
Trino
are you Justin
calls out
Petrol?
Trost.
Only Justin Petrol can do breaking
Why
news.
can't I share it?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing.
I can't share it, Will.
Why not?
I don't know. It just says unlike or comment. I can't
Yeah.
share your.
Well,
I
how
can't
about if
share
I
it.
share it to the Will and Dave show?
Okay.
Maybe it's
like
because
the
of
Will
the
and
fact
Dave
that you're not friends with Trino.
Maybe that's.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, because
Here,
Brandon
let me add
Trino
you as a
doesn't
friend.
like the Will and Dave show. I can't share it there either.
Hang on.
You see, this is good. We did 2 hours almost of perfect, an hour and a half of really good podcasting, and now we've done
Nope,
an
that's
hour
Dave
of
Clayton.
shit.
Can you link me to the Will and Dave show?
God, do you not like it already? We haven't done that the entire
Apparently not.
episode.
Jim Swinbanks was watching a fixed race, and he comments in the IndyCar
Oh, yeah, I
forum.
do like it.
24 caution laps out of 30. Wow.
Wow. Dave, it's time to talk about how you can interact with us. Let's do it.
Interact with the Will and Dave Show on Twitter. Birmingham. Follow us on Twitter at Will and Dave Show. Like us on Facebook at Will, letter N, Dave. Tweet us with the hashtag Will and Dave. You can also comment on the YouTube channel. We have 3 comments today and 5 people watching. So throw out your tweets, throw out your Facebook statuses and likes and comments and all that good stuff. We love when you interact with us because usually you say funny things and then we read them on here and we get a good laugh, so everybody laughs. And laughter is the best medicine for all your ailments.
Yeah. You can also like me, facebook.com / I am Will Vincent.
I wanted to say it. Damn it, I had it.
Do it.
You know, and you can hate me. I'm at, cockometer, hashtag GoScrewYourself.com.
And don't forget also, this coming Saturday is the first episode of RaceSpot Presents the WCS Spotlight. We've got an awesome interview with Atzi Kirchhoff. We're going to have Will Vincent, that's me, along with Scott Woodwis and Nick Rowland as we prepare for the first race of the 2014 iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series, live and exclusive on PSR TV, iRacing Live, Motorsports Radio Network, potentially, and potentially also the New England Sports Network. Who knows? I'm just commentating it.
Wait a second. Everybody just said the track should be some triple circuit.
I can't find the phrase one.
I love it, Eric Manick. He's
oh my God.
That way, at least whoever's the first to enter wins.
Well, you saw the threads up, but nobody's.
Hold on, I'm getting there. Hold on.
You want me to say something?
11 people have looked at it, but nobody's commented.
I'm pulling up some YouTube stuff.
The Battle of the BTs. This is going to be potentially the greatest race ever. In fact, Norton and Tim Doyle almost had one of these. Back into, and most of you people won't remember this. Trainer, you definitely won't. Dave, you might just.
No.
Back when the first welfare setup came out at Richmond, Tim Doyle and Ryan Norton challenged each other to a race at Richmond in the fix setup, and it never happened. The same way the Darren Garangy and Ben Cornett never happened. The same way Richard Petty and Danica Patrick will never happen. This could actually be one that actually happens, Dave.
Oh, I'm down for it.
Why is there only 3 people listening?
Because we're on Thursday.
Yeah,
and we've gone like 2.5 hours already.
People will watch this on Friday. We'll tell them to skip forward to the last bit when I start putting Danica Patrick pictures as our backdrop.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Mr. Parody, are you on Twitter?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. All right, I posted something. I posted "Can't Wait," then Bart Scott's clip of "Can't Wait" and a GIF.
No. You gotta get the what you call it? Oh, Kevin Hart's clip where he says it's about to go down.
What does Harvick say that?
I have got the perfect soundboard thing for this. Wait for it.
Go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
I love that one. Play it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
it totally fell apart there at the end.
By the way, I am going to attempt to do a Bruce Buffer. It's time!
Really?
Oh, what have I done?
Really?
That was horrible.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, let's get ready to rumble! How's that?
That's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages,
D-Generation X proudly brings to you its WWF Tag Team Champions of the World!
The Road Dogg, Jesse James!
The Badass Billy Gunn! The new Age Outlaws!
Yeah, you guys
Hashtag nailed it.
Yeah, a little off. Little off.
What do you mean we're a little off? We're way off.
Well, that's right. Will's in England. Okay. Yeah, that I expect the lag.
There we are.
Oh, I thought you meant we were mentally off.
Well, yeah, we are mentally off. Do you not remember? We need to go and get ourselves some psychiatric evaluations.
No, I know somebody. I know somebody who had court ordered evaluation. Though.
Hey, Trino, why don't you go take the S out of your link so the video
actually shows up?
Yeah.
Sure.
Derp.
You know,
we don't have short clip.
Brandon, if you're gonna call someone out, you got to make sure you do the video correctly the first time.
We don't have the stroke clip, Will. Where's Andrew King?
Oh, I never told you about my Welsh lecturer.
Oh wait, no, I'm in trouble. I can't do this.
Why?
Because if you look at Will's status, that's my team owner.
What's the matter?
My team owner goes, "What did I miss?"
Who's your team owner?
Oh yeah, Lisa, someone.
Oh Lord.
It's okay.
I could see if you were getting paid lots of money and you had a PR person.
You need to edit that, Will, to iRacing. Just say, laid it down to Brandon Trost on iRacing.
Okay.
Just edit it and put that in there.
On
who, me?
iRacing.
No, Will.
Only. There we are, done. Hashtag nailed it. There we are.
This woman owns your racing team, or what?
She owns Slipping on Motorsports.
And
with Ralph Alla, Byron Daly, Blackford, and Brandon Bowie.
So
does she like work with iRacing too, or what?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
There's a lot of PR work.
Oh, PR work. Okay, gotcha.
It's okay. You never seen Ben Cornett, have you? They've got a lot of PR work over at Team Redline. That doesn't stop him.
Just don't Google his name.
Who, Ben Cornett?
Yes, don't Google image his name.
Why?
Challenge accepted.
Why? What happens?
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Ben Cornett. Wow. How sexy. I'm going to fap to that tonight.
Okay.
Whoa.
I'm scared.
Very first picture.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You know, we were doing.
I'm gonna type in Will Vincent. I'm gonna type in Will Vincent and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna type in Dave Judson.
Hey, the first picture is John Goke and Will Vincent.
And then in the middle,
there's a white kid riding an ATV on YouTube.
Oh look, here's a picture of Dave Judson with a striped shirt.
Oh, Dave, we've got the one with the. Oh yes, the English muffins.
Wait. When you type in my name?
No, when you type in my name on the second row, you've got the English muffins.
Good.
No,
God.
not on mine.
Hold on.
Send me the link.
Yes, I will.
Here's a creepy one. There's a nude man and woman like tied together with string.
Look at Will. He's like English muffins. Oh my God.
Oh God, I see that one. On something, and it's like, what the hell are they about to do?
Is that you, Dave?
I took that video of Will Vincent in Indy, just telling us.
I'm talking the picture I posted to you.
Oh! So I didn't click that one. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, Dave! I found my family.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes, he is black.
Look.
Yes, Will Vincent's black.
I scrolled down to about the 10th row and I found my family.
Is that your mum?
It must be. I got it wrong the entire time. It's my mum who's white.
You guys won't find me anywhere. Oh my God, Will, is that your wife?
I wish.
You guys won't find any of me.
There's a picture. There's the iRacing logo, and it just says "Watch it" with 6 exclamation points under Will Vincent.
Where?
On the Google images.
I'm scrolling down. I'll eventually find it.
Well, see, you're probably using what Google.co.uk. Mine's .com. Slightly different.
That's an idea. Let's go to .com. Oh no, it keeps on going back. What's wrong with you? I want to be an American.
America.
I want to be an American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
Mike, that picture that you found of me is the one that they have on the In Racing News page for my profile.
You know what? They still haven't got my one of them up, and I'm the official rater for the 2014 iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Sim. I'm so glad I don't have to do the NASCAR one.
I'm the first one under David Phillips on there, bitches.
I keep searching.
You just post that picture.
I keep searching Will Vincent, and that's all I get is pictures of that guy.
Oh, come on. Fat, naked white dude.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Brandon Trino's not old enough to look at that stuff.
I'm telling my mom.
You never answered the question. Are you 18 or not? I don't even remember.
No.
No.
Not even close. Well, no. 17 and a half. We'll go with that. I'm getting there.
He's getting there.
Hey, only it's like, hey, you can get laid and legally in half in half a year's time. However, you can't get them drunk when you go to bed with them for at least another 3 years. Okay, I'm on Google.com and I still don't find Watch It. Where's Watch It?
It was way down the run. It was like 8 or 9 runs.
Oh, there I see it.
There it is.
Yeah, that's way after I see the Will Vincent Challenge logo.
The Will Vincent Why was there not a Will Vincent Challenge last week 13?
Yeah, wasn't
I think that
IndyCar
John Paul's still
Las
pissed
Vegas
off about
era?
the fact that I wrecked him in the last one.
Well, he has a legitimate beef. You just totally wiped him out on purpose.
Yeah, and?
Well, as much fun as those races are supposed to be, I mean, I think people actually want to win the Will Vincent Challenge because your name is held in such high esteem. Wow, that was a huge lie.
Yeah. Oh, look at this cute couple. This is such a cute couple right here.
Uh-oh.
Vincent and
Aww.
How cute.
Aww. I remember that coat. I haven't worn that in a while.
Has it not been cold enough or what?
I haven't worn a coat.
In socialist Great Britain.
Oh, wow.
Socialist Great
Look at this one. He is so studious in this one.
Oh, God.
Wait, have you guys seen the YouTube video where he like lip syncs some pop song?
Oh my
God! I always forgot that people even care about that.
Will,
look at you, Will. Who took that picture?
Studious.
My boss.
Look at you wearing like a sweater and everything.
That sweater is sexy.
And those glasses.
It's okay. I've got a really stupid, crazy one which I'll upload for you guys to watch in a minute.
There's Will looking at porn.
Yeah, at Jim's house. You see, what you see is the iRacing was on one screen, and I was just watching porn on the other one.
Don't you use TeamSpeak on one and watch the race
2013 iRacing.com Indianapolis 500, working ourselves under our third caution of the of the day.
I was wondering.
You need to explain that photo right there. Were you doing the V for Vendetta thing or something?
No, that's the screenshot of him singing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I remember when I posted that on the forum.
That's an old one.
Dude, that day at Jim's house when we had the Indy 500, that was a great day.
It was. It needs to happen again.
That was a lot of fun. Definitely. It just sucks that I crashed out so early.
Yeah.
But you came and gave me a hug afterwards, so it felt better.
I did.
Oh my God. Okay, Will, you've got to explain this.
I love how we're not even talking about anything anymore on the Will and Dave show, 2.5 hours in.
Will, okay, now, what the frick? Hold on. This is, when I Googled your name, this was probably down the way a little bit, and I'm a little disturbed that your name is associated with this picture. Could you please explain?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
What is that?
It's two guys kissing and then some moderately ugly woman looking on.
Well,
I'm trying to figure that one out. And here's another one of two guys hugging associated with your name. Mother of pearl.
What's this one, Will?
Whoa. Wait, Will is white.
Yeah, you kind of do look like it in this one.
Is that Photoshop?
No, it's not.
Is this your Michael Jackson picture or what?
Yeah.
You must save a ton on shampoo.
He saves a lot of deodorant too. He don't use it.
Oh, fuck you.
Axe body spray is not deodorant.
Oh my God, you're one of those?
No, I'm not.
Yes. We went to the Myers store in Indianapolis. He's like, we got to find the deodorant aisle, and we go over there, and then he grabs a can of Axe body spray, and me and Goke and Vanek didn't have the heart to tell him that wasn't deodorant. And God, we paid for it on Indy 500 day.
GlacierTV, if you need some deodorant and some crotch spray, buy Axe.
Well, to be fair, in the UK, I only wanted to buy Axe because of the fact that I see so many fucking adverts for it.
So you're brainwashed.
Yeah.
So you're simple-minded.
Well, the same day that I saw the Old Spice advert for the first time, I went and bought some Old Spice.
Well, we're going to get you clinical strength antiperspirant.
So what you're saying is United States commercials are working, so if someone put a bottle of piss and vinegar, you'd go and look for that?
Wait, isn't that what we put on our chips?
Well, when are you ever going to buy the Nair hair remover?
It will happen. It's payday today, so you never know.
Do you know about that, Mike?
Yes, but I also wanted to add, to it that after that happens, he needs to take some of either some Brute by Fabergé.
Oh God!
And you sort of
pour it on there.
Just gently pat it on there. Some type of aftershave with a minty.
What? Like it doesn't burn enough?
Okay.
Like it's not going to burn enough.
You can get that for £1 from the pound shops here. So after I've gone and bought the Nair Vite for Men thing.
You bought the one for men? No, you need the one for women.
The extra strength one for the Germans. You can remove all of your hair into one go.
Okay, but yeah, are you going to do this live?
I think I should.
He should absolutely do it live.
You're not going to see anything.
Because
we're not doing a Google Hangout.
No.
Yeah, it'll be the weirdest Google Hangout ever.
I so want to hear it live. You'll hear him with a spatula putting it on, and then he'll go in the shower and he'll be like, "Oh, it's all falling off," and we're like, "All right, get the aftershave."
No, he's going to be screaming before the aftershave. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
At least according to the Amazon reviews.
Really?
They are amazing. Okay, I'm actually going to spend some money tomorrow. I can't do it tomorrow because I'm actually going out tomorrow.
Yeah, you never explained what you were doing tomorrow.
Well, basically, it's I actually would have not been here tomorrow anyway because we were supposed to have a reunion with some of the people from my college. The only issue is, let's be honest, I fucking.
Are you gonna be inside someone?
I hate all the people in my college, and one of the, yeah, and also let's be honest, one of my best friends from college had an issue with one of the girls from college in which he got incredibly drunk with her, slept with her, or she doesn't remember it.
I want to be inside you.
Yeah. But I'm comparing the part of the elections night for my college.
Trost is posted.
Yes!
Wait. What's
to the forums?
Well, okay, I'm going to read the response. If road, Goodwin Traino. If oval, good luck Traino. We'll see you there.
Oh, but he still didn't answer, Traino.
So he didn't pick.
Yeah, so you need to go back and throw it back at him.
I just said, well, you need to pick.
Oh, you already put that? Okay. No, you can't do Talladega.
Ladies and no, no,
Well, hey, I know what he's gonna pick. I know. No. I know what he's gonna pick. I'm predicting it right here, right now. He's gonna pick Talladega IndyCar.
How boring.
There's this guy, by the way, called Daniel Northfield, who is watching this. He said, look at the 5 kilo gummy bear reviews. Daniel, I've been trying to get some of these shipped over to the UK for ages, because I'm going to actually eat about 200 grams of them before the podcast. Then about 45 minutes into it, I'm going to be suffering.
Wait, grams? Is that a lot? Is 24 grams a lot? I don't know. I'm
200
American.
Grams, I don't know, about 10 ounces.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of gummy bears.
Yeah, I will be
over half a pound.
Oh, Perry.
What?
Perry, you need to put in your post that Charles gets to pick the track and stuff.
Oh, okay. Whoop.
That's why he said that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, Will, sign up for Charlotte Carb Cup. It's in 2 minutes. Let's just do it for the heck of it.
Okay. I need to do some random button pressing. I need to load iRacing.
Daytona.
You're doing the Charlotte Cup Cup?
Daytona. Oh, I never told you, Dave. I was able to get my processor fixed.
Oh, very good. What was the problem? You just needed a new thermal paste?
Yeah, I needed
or
new
what?
thermal paste, so I bought new thermal paste.
Excellent.
Because I have a job, which means that I can do this
Wait,
shit.
what?
Yeah, I have.
Jim Banks was like, wait, what?
All right, it's added. Any track, any car, Trino said. He'll have to pick the track and car, he added.
And then it'll be a fixed setup.
Oh, yeah, fix that up. Yeah, okay, hold on. Damn it, I'm not a good newscaster, sorry.
Coming next on the Will and Dave show.
He's here! He's here!
Yes!
He's here!
Yes!
He's here!
Yes!
Brandon Trost!
Challenge accepted!
Brandon Trost, you've read the forums. Are you accepting Brandon Trino's challenge?
Why not?
So, you're allowed to pick the car or the track. What, do you know what you want to choose yet?
Michigan, and I'll leave it up to Brandon on the
No,
car.
you have to pick the
You
car.
have to pick it. You gotta pick it.
All right, trucks at Michigan.
Fix setup.
Trucks at Michigan, fixed setup.
Done.
All right.
Trucks
When
at
are we
Michigan.
running?
Post set it.
Oh, you've got to pick how many laps as well.
Yeah, how many laps you want to do?
How many you want to do? 25? Sound fair?
Sure.
What should we make it where they have to make a pit stop? Maybe.
No.
No.
Trost gets to decide that.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to do it long enough, Mr. Trost, to do a pit stop, or you want to do a shootout?
What you guys decide.
No, you have to decide.
This is all you, buddy.
All right.
Oh, I missed Charlotte. Fuck! I was trying to load iRacing.
Let's do a pit stop. Shorten the gas tank a little bit, so we have to do one stop there.
When do you want to do this?
Next weekend.
What about
Won't
like
be here
next?
next week.
How about right now?
Like the.
I can do it right now.
No. We gotta build it up, Will, so we can get a bunch of people to watch it. How about we should do it like right after a Will and Dave show, like at a 6 p.m. on a Friday or something.
I can't do those. I'm always out eating at 6. So.
I was about
Well,
to
what
say,
about, like,
you're
8 p.m.
14.
or
It's not as if you're out trying to bang chicks.
Well, what about like a Saturday, like a 6 p.m. or a Friday night at 9 or something?
I do Friday at 9.
I can't
Why don't
do
we do
Friday
like
at 9. It's 2 a.m. my time.
But you're
Friday
off
night
on
at 9 is
Saturday.
the NIS series.
Yeah, but I do the Will and Dave show. Then I've got to stay up all night.
All right,
I'm sure he
do it
knows right.
Saturday.
It is the NIS series. Maybe he
Yeah,
wants
do
to
it
do that.
Saturday.
Saturday at 6?
p.m.
You
That
want to
could
do
work.
3? I think 3 would work better.
I don't care.
Saturday at 3
3
p.m.
p.m.
Well, as long
There
as
we go.
As
Should
long
we
as it's streamed, because I'll be in South Georgia and I'll have to pick it up on my laptop.
Should we do it for not tomorrow or not 2 days from now, but the following Saturday?
Yes.
I don't care. I'll let you guys decide on that one.
Yeah,
I can do
okay.
it either day.
I'll
many
ask
laps?
Racebot how much that will cost.
Oh my God, I'm starting
Send your
second.
donations to
Dave Jackson, I'm in
will.hinton
here
at
with
mail.bcu.ac.uk through PayPal. Thank you.
I never raced the Cup car, so
Oh god, this will be
It's in
fun.
the
How many
truck.
laps? How many laps did we say?
25.
25.
25. Okay.
With what, a 30%
Limited fuel?
tank?
Yes.
Yeah, let's limit it to whatever requires
Why is
one
my
stop
wheel
and 25
shaking?
laps.
yeah, mine is too. The new force
hell?
feedback is totally jacked up with
Well,
this car.
Freaking just put it where you can put 2 gallons
Talk
in it and
amongst
you have to
yourself for a
run a
minute,
lap.
kids.
What was
All
that?
right. So the challenge has been set. Next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, Brandon Trino versus Brandon Trost in the NASCAR Truck Series at Michigan. 25 laps. We're gonna have limited fuel, so they have to at least make one pit stop. Boy, I cannot wait to be a part of the commentary team for this race. This is gonna be a shootout for sure.
So next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, right?
Yeah, next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern.
All right.
Will Vincent and I from the Will and Dave Show will be commentating on the race, and I'm sure it'll be entertaining.
And I'm getting ready to update the post.
Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good.
All right, it's updated.
Excellent. We'll have to find out if Will can make it a pay-per-view event, because that'd be hilarious if people actually paid to watch that.
That'd be hilarious.
We gotta tell Porzik.
He's online. I mean, he's... No, I just...
You guys doing Carburetor Cup again?
Dave, this has been the
we're
best Will and
second
Dave
half.
show ever.
I
We're
think,
not
Will,
live
are we
right
gonna
now,
make?
are
Are we
we?
gonna make this a pay-per-view event?
That might take too much effort. I might have to do it on Glacier if it was pay-per-view. Because
Wait, are we live?
a certain way. Well, we're live right now.
Yeah, okay.
I just say what we do is we get people to donate to it, and the cassiola goes to
So
the
the winner
winner.
gets the money?
Yeah.
Oh,
The winner gets 50%, and the Will and Dave show gets the other 50%.
Yes, I completely
Fair.
agree. Love it, love it.
Fair enough.
We're footing the bill for this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
It is
that's
fair.
true. Okay, that's fair.
All right, put that in the
Another man.
next post.
Oh, God.
How do you race
This'll
this
be fun.
freaking cup car, man? I'm all over the place.
Right.
Where do you
I'm
run
trying to
it,
figure that
Charlotte?
myself.
Yeah, I didn't make it in. I'm really pissed off.
Well, that's
I've
your
never
own
done it
fault.
with Charlotte, to
I've
be
never done it
honest,
with
and
a
that
fixed
cup
setup
car,
for
that
everywhere.
cup car's a nightmare in Charlotte.
I
Well,
like the
it's-
cup car in
it's-
Charlotte.
It's loose in, and then once you get into the corner, it's really tight.
And then it's loose
I
off.
know. I won't run the cup car at anything that's a mile and a half. It's just, it doesn't drive right.
That
Charles,
sounds like
can I
my
ask you why you
ex-wife.
picked the
Loose
truck?
going in, tight.
Why? Yeah,
going
why'd you
further.
pick the truck, Brandon Trost?
That's the only one he can run.
Well, I've actually won a 300-mile truck race at Michigan.
March on Michigan, baby!
Yes, I won the second split there.
Oh man.
I
Okay,
started
we
about
got it.
30-something.
We got to have some ground rules. Are there resets in case there's incidental contact or anything like that? Well, what if somebody purposely wrecks somebody? Is there going to be Judge or Will and Dave the officials?
Yes, because
Yes.
you guys are neutral.
Okay.
That's fair.
Well, yeah, I
Man,
am
this is gonna be
neutral. I am a
great.
league administrator.
Yes, you are.
Will
A great
did pretty
league, by
good
the way, that
job
I'm
at
the champion of.
ISWC. I remember the 600-mile Michigan race.
Hey,
That was pretty
where's
fun.
where's my trophy for winning the ISOWC championship?
It probably got stuck in customs.
Come on, you got a couple of bucks. Throw a trophy together for me. I want to have an actual trophy for winning something on iRacing.
Dave, what I'll do when I'm in America,
America.
I'll take a dump.
Huh.
I'll take a
Okay,
deuce,
you're done.
freeze it, put it
Oh my
on
God, the
piece
car's
of wood.
lifting off the ground.
No, I'll sort something out when I come to
Somebody asked
America,
in the
okay?
thread, what happens to the loser?
My car is literally going to flip over. Oh my
Oh,
God.
hit the gas, hit the gas.
Yeah, I was, okay.
I know, it's
Anyway,
a weird bug where
that
cars
was weird.
just
No,
start
it was
rising
What's
really
off the
bad.
it doing?
ground.
It like
Flipping
tries
over.
to tip itself over if you don't hit
Yes.
the gas?
Yes, it was sitting on the
Yeah,
ground.
when you're on the
flip over.
grid. It starts lifting off the ground, it
Oh, yeah, I
levitating.
saw that in that show you were showing earlier.
Well, Vincent, this is like a marathon, almost 3-hour long show.
Booyah!
Yeah, we had some major breaking events, though.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, a lot of breaking news. You got to stick around for the whole show.
Yeah,
I mean, we were
You know,
super
it is, to be
serious and
honest. I
we were
didn't even know the
super.
show was on.
Stop talking. We were super serious and informative the first 2 hours. So all of you on the interwebs that learning things will like the first 2 hours, and then everyone else who likes the train wreck, the third hour is right up your alley.
Whoa.
Whoa! Somebody almost hit me.
So you almost just got taken out by the leader.
It's Carb Cup. It's basically like week 13 street stock. So
I say
So are
we
you
just
guys
go now.
doing another Will and Dave?
just go
Or is-
now.
Just go. Just go.
No, this is the Will and Dave show for the week because will not be home tomorrow night, so we can't do it.
I
tomorrow.
never got to finish that story, did I?
No, you said you were going to go out with somebody or
No,
something.
no. I was supposed to go out with some people. I've yet to tell them that I've got to cancel them, but anyway, I don't care. They're cunts anyway. But what I'm actually doing is I'm kind of I'm on elections committee for our students union for this for our student union. So basically, I don't know, in America, you have your university. Do you have the head of all the society people as well?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So
Going for the lead!
So we've got
Brandon
we've got our
Trino
elections
Trost going
results
for the
like
lead.
tomorrow, and I'm the guy in charge of making the PowerPoint and comparing the person who's going to announce the results. So it means I will get to do things like it's
chop me off, I'm gonna give him a little bump. Dale Earnhardt style.
I think RaceBot will be happy to do it.
Excellent.
So how's Forza gonna pull off that we're the same person after this event?
That's the whole
You're going to
point.
have two versions of iRacing running next to each other with two wheels and magical powers. That means that you can... Oh, no, you just have two... You just have two joypad sticks running at the same time on an Xbox controller. You just got a foot pedal for the gas for each. I mean, who needs a brake in Michigan?
Hey, that's an idea. Let's like make it a requirement to use an Xbox controller or PS3 controller.
No, come on, that's just stupid.
Just kidding.
Because you cheat. Okay, I'm done with this Charlotte stuff.
I'm about to get beat by a rookie. This is pretty sad.
That happens in Carburetor Cup.
Yeah, these records are
As soon as I get the
good.
approval on this, it will actually be official on the RaceBot TV website.
Excellent. Rob uses not much of a challenge of the same person on Facebook.
Wait, we need to do proper driver introductions as well. I need some information from you both, please. Can you place your weight and your state and actually I know your state. I just need your weight, please. Thank you. But you're both skinny
What's he gonna have a tail?
Yeah, you're both
What's he gonna
skinny
have
cunts anyway. So.
Oh, I'm not skinny.
What's he gonna have a tail of the tape?
Yeah.
All right, Trost. What's your official weight?
Prozac knows already.
125.
Trano?
150.
Oh, by the way, what we wanted to do is have one of you driving the STP-43 car, the other one driving a Danica Patrick car.
No,
so you can choose which one you want to be.
Okay, that would be funny. I'm gonna be Richard Petty.
Okay. Introducing first, driving the STP-43 machine, weighing in at 125 pounds from Pennsylvania, Brandon Trost, and his opponent,
BT in the house, baby.
weighing in at 150 pounds from Emoville, New Jersey, Brandon Trino!
Very nice. I can't wait to hear some like dramatic music behind that and the graphics.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd have been on my other computer. I would have it all.
Oh no, second place is about to drop out.
Wait, hold on.
The early Brian Sutton says the early line is Trino minus 120, Trost plus 110.
So let me get this straight. If I win, I get whoever bets on me gets $110, and if they bet against me and they lose 120.
Sorry. Betting is for entertainment purposes only, unless you're in the state of Nevada next weekend.
Okay, so for those
What are
who
we
may
gonna
be
call
going
this
to
anyway?
Vegas. Oh yeah, we need to make it super long, like the Brickyard 400 name. So it needs to be like the Will and Dave podcast show presents the Brandon Trino Trost Challenge presented by iRacing and RaceBot.
And Danica versus Richard Petty.
No, we need a more creative name besides the Trost
Will and
Trino
Dave
thing.
presents Battle of the BTs powered by RaceBot. I have to
Yes,
make
I
some
like
fix
it.
into the actual thing. Which
Do
is
what?
going to be, February? No, it'll be March the...
9th?
March the 8th.
8th. At 3 p.m. Eastern.
Which
Harry's
is...
gonna paint the cars.
I don't paint.
I'm sure you can find a Richard Petty car on Trading Paints.
Yeah, but they have
I'm
a
sure I
Danica
can.
one.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, please don't steal any paints from Trading Paints, because people put a lot of hard work into them. Like,
No,
I
no,
actually
they
stole
they
the
have-
first Team
They have, like, a
Afterburn
whole room.
skin.
They
from
have
one
a
of-
sharing section on there.
They have
now.
shared ones.
Oh, they do now?
Yep.
Yeah.
They didn't used to. I actually stole the first Team Afterburn paint scheme for one of Sean Stroud's Dan Weldon schemes, which is actually how Sean Stroud came to be on the team.
Yoni Backman is raining on our parade on the forum.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what's he saying? Yoni
So the
can't even
Cornet-
win races.
Ganji call-out was not allowed and removed, but this call-out is okay. Okay, what are the rules in which call-outs are allowed? And if this,
It's a
then if this
joke.
doesn't,
Tell him to suck it.
they
Jesus Christ.
they both agree
we both
to
agreed
the
to it. It's a joke.
challenge, and it's being scheduled as we speak.
What a freaking tard.
Whoa!
Well, this is on GlacierTV, technically, remember?
Yes, and I'm calling him. What a freaking tard.
Oh gosh.
Oops.
This could be the most viewed iRacing event ever.
Not gonna
Could you imagine if there were like 1,000 viewers watching this thing?
I could actually imagine it being a lot bigger than a WCS race. It's kind of fucking hilarious.
hey, as long as there's no buffering, I'm happy with it.
There won't be.
Is that a dig at someone who I might be commentating for this weekend?
Who's Mike Perry won?
Here, drag me down. That's my soundboard. All right. You wanted some
Dramatic music.
dramatic intro? Okay, here we go.
I need something that's more hype.
Oh, god damn it. All right, well.
Like, dun, 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 dun,
Hey,
dun.
Oh, I've got that.
There you go.
There you go. That's pretty good.
The Will and Dave Show present the BT Challenge brought to you by RaceSpot.
Hey guys, stop the music! Stop the music! I feel like Vince McMahon right now.
Down.
It's
Whoa,
officially
too
Friday!
It went way too loud. Wow.
That was
Yeah, I
super
basically
loud.
drowned everybody
Yeah.
at the end.
My earphones are filled with blood now.
Sorry.
Breaking
Tonight.
news!
On GlacierTV, Brandon Trano calls out Trost.
It's getting louder again.
In the truck
getting louder.
at Michigan.
Okay.
I had to kick it out of there. It's getting too loud.
Well, I'm trying to figure here. Yeah, I got to figure out why it's so loud.
Oh my god. Well, now my right ear is also bleeding.
All right, see, is this too loud? Hold on.
Bueller.
No, that
Is
was
that
okay.
all right?
That was okay. It's like the longer it goes, the louder it gets, though.
Well, I messed
My
around
best friend's
with it.
sister's
so-
boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows this kid is going with the girl.
Why
who
is
got
it
parents
staging
tapped out
for
at
this
31
qualifying
flavors last
session I
night?
am in?
Will, we're in our 4th hour.
I know, it's officially Friday. The Will and Dave Show is actually on Friday.
Yeah, but if you're in Australia, it's been Friday for a long time.
Oh, no, we can't play that, we can't play that.
No.
Copyrighted
can't-
music, I'm gonna get
we can't
busted
play
by YouTube.
copyrighted songs, we'll get in trouble.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's okay, you didn't know.
There we are. We
What
can,
can I
we
do?
can,
Yeah.
however, play.
Wait, this is what I'm gonna hear with Brandon.
Ladies and gentlemen, stop! You are ending
It's unbelievable, really
See,
unbelievable what
this
you
is
do. And the better driver goes in front. Not
This
the
is-
lucky driver, the better driver. This is unbelievable what is going on iRacing with IndyCar. That is
Hey, Will, I gotta
unbelievable.
ask you, by
All
the way, how
guys
was my
understand
Andreas
me, that is enough.
impersonation?
You're a crash driver.
For anyone who doesn't know, I came into this TeamSpeak channel when Will was only here and impersonated Andreas. I had him for like 10 or 20 seconds, and he never realized until I said so.
Yeah, that's mainly because I didn't bother to look at what flag you're from. I would have been able to bother to tell if it showed an American flag. There you are.
Well, the Dave Show presents the Battle of the BTs. I cannot wait.
This is what I'm gonna hear on the track.
Soon you will know what it is like to be defeated by the hands of somebody who is truly better than you.
I know
Wow.
that show. Or
And
that
then, and then here's this is Trost.
I don't even know what that means, but I love it.
Why you have those clips?
and then all of a sudden,
Oh my god.
Trost will come back with this one.
I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. You know, I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
Literally, in this race, if you're not first, you're last.
Pretty much.
There you go. Actually, I think you should play that clip right in the middle of the race.
No. This is serious business. We cannot
don't forget,
you
because
guys.
RaceBot is an official broadcast of the 2014 iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series, this will be a professional broadcast to the T.
The complete opposite of the Will and Dave show.
Yep, which is now in its 4th hour.
Wow, somebody just ripped a wet one.
Wait. I have an Andreas thing of this.
Hi, I'm Andreas, and you're listening to the Will and Dave show on GlacierTV. Have fun.
On this ship, you're to refer to me as idiot, not you, Captain.
Well, Will, I feel like we've reached the end of what we can do today.
Wait, so, okay.
Noises!
I gotta make dinner anyway.
Yeah,
So do
here
I.
we go.
I have to pee.
Birmingham!
What are we
Birmingham!
The show was on today. Is that
Do you
Spanish
guys
truck?
realise how difficult it is for me to end the show when you keep on playing shit?
Yeah, when we play the music, it's me and Will only. Ready? Go.
I'll do it.
With this net, we can do anything on the internet we want to do.
Well, thank you very much for the 3 hour and 5 minute long Will and Day Show extravaganza. How I'm going to get this on iTunes, I have absolutely no idea.
It's going to be great.
We'll put the first 2 hours on iTunes at the very least. We might have to cut some of the controversial shit out that's in the middle. Then I might put the last half an hour on at the end. We'll see what iTunes lets us do. So, it is official. On Saturday, the 8th of March, 2014, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, screw the Inside Sim Racing March on Michigan. It's a Will and Day Show presents the March on Michigan Battle of the BTs live on RaceBot with Will Vincent and Dave Judson and perhaps Mike Perry in the commentary booth as we get set for 25 laps of racing between Brandon Trano and Brandon Trost. Dave?
Will, I cannot wait for that event. It's going to be awesome. Shut up, Trost! My God, we're muting this chat during the race. Okay.
I think that would be great at the end of the show. That was funny as shit.
Of all my podcasts, this one was the most recent. Good night, everybody.
Now I've got